is time for us to choose. A new age is upon us. It is time for us to choose. A new age is upon us. is time for us to choose. A new age is upon us. It is time for us to choose. A new age is upon us. is time for us to choose. A new age is upon us. It is time for us to choose.
Okay.
The
Because
lava's
I'm
being
a basic white male.
All right, we're on the.
I'm the most basic bitch there is.
Okay, we're live.
Why isn't? How do I get this video back? Oh,
Okay.
there we go.
I drink my coffee black with no sugar.
Ooh.
It doesn't get more basic.
And I bet you hate Starbucks.
It does get more basic.
I
What do you
do
mean?
hate Starbucks because I think it's
Why do you
overpriced for what it is.
Why
We
do they
do
have
not have an
venti
official
cups,
opinion on one way or
sugary
another about
drinks?
the
Have coffee
products of
like a real
Starbucks.
man.
Oh no, you can drink coffee however the hell you want
As a
to.
matter
I
of
just like
fact,
mine
if
black.
Starbucks was to sponsor us, that'd be awesome.
And I hate Starbucks because for what they're selling you, they're charging like double what they really should be. It's
I mean,
it's an okay
they've
cup of
kind of
coffee
cornered.
for a great cup of coffee price.
They've kind of. I've just
okay.
realized the whole time that you guys have been talking, I've been trying to say that we're on the air, and I've been muted.
Oh no! I want the
coffee
brand
talk.
deal.
I joined in when you called yourself a basic bitch, and then I was like,
I am a
yeah, and then I
basic
kept
bitch.
like having really good points, and no one heard them except for the internet.
great.
Don't worry, I'll
great
go back.
voices
I'll go
to
back
help.
and listen to your burns of me.
Oh no,
Once
no
they get
burns. I was just
loaded.
like, well, Starbucks cornered the market, and then I said something about, I don't even remember what else I said. Because no one's doing
Yeah, I
what
don't
Starbucks
know.
is. Oh, I said that we don't have an official position on Starbucks, and that if they sponsored us, that'd be really great.
I don't know if other places Starbucks is better than Britain Starbucks. It's entirely possible.
I think Americans are kind of dependent on Starbucks now. It used to be Dunkin' Donuts, but
But
Dunkin's
yeah,
Donuts
England
have dunked
have they?
in quality,
Oh
in
no,
my opinion.
I can't stand. Not Dunker's Curios does not have an official opinion on Dunkin' Donuts.
But the other thing I was going to say is that since Shaq's having issues with the camera, he should probably turn off the rest of our cameras because that's going to eat up his bandwidth.
Oh, okay.
I'll give me 1 second.
No, you're
How
fine.
do I? Yeah. I will be back in 1 second. Let me try something.
Okay.
I don't know what he's gonna try.
My fortune today. Oh, hi. Thank you for joining us in the future when you're on YouTube because no one's here right now.
Yes, it's always awkward streaming to 0 people because you're like, I don't want to like just act like there's no one here because that's not entertaining at all if someone was to join. But
it ain't too bad now. We can go.
How do you know?
how did you fix it?
Switch to Ethernet rather than Wi-Fi.
Wait.
Nope.
Unless it's like
he is still. I'm gonna go ahead and take the Discord off of this. Okay.
I'm sorry, you're going to have to lose these beautiful faces and also me.
I didn't have the camera stream pulled up yet. I had to switch
Oh,
it
okay.
every time from the main Discord to the pop out, because when you delete the pop out, the Twitch studio likes to think it doesn't exist anymore.
Yeah, that would make sense.
Henry, hi, I'm Tony. I'm your DM. This is Sword Coast Curios. We're playing Storm King's Thunder. This is the book.
Here's a book.
Yes.
You like to read?
And I just had Chinese food, and my fortune says that the Buddha said there is no one thing that stays the same during this life.
Oh, interesting.
Right? Not so much a
Yeah.
fortune.
Just like a fact.
The
It's not like-
taste
I
of-
think it's supposed to be like a philosophical
threat.
guideline. A
Yes.
threat. That's amazing.
You will lose everything you love. Well, really glad we went out to go to Chinese restaurant tonight, guys.
Mhm.
I'm having a great time.
Okay. So, the last time that we played, you guys went to. You were already out of
Yep.
calling horns, and you went to Nonar's Hold. You did not enter the village proper because you heard spooky rumors about the lords of the hunt there hunting down the most dangerous game people. So you camped a
Yes.
few miles away from the hunting lodge, and lo and behold, your camp was attacked by undead on undead mounts. And a few of them were able to flee, and the next morning you came to Nonar's Hold to deliver the harnesses that you got from Tribor, and through a series of chains of events you ended up attacking a dwarf, which led to being assaulted by said dwarf and the undead who had fled, as well as a few more undead horses. After you searched through their entire lodge, you found out that most of what you wanted was just in the first two rooms. And that's where we are. You actually, the building's actually on fire.
Yeah, we just left the
haven't we?
building.
Yeah.
We just left the building with it flaming behind us.
Yes.
And Bulwark and Melira being hit by a fireball.
Yep. And as you're kind of walking down that kind of spiral road on this massive hill that this lodge overlooks the rest of the hamlet, there are it's very small. I hear my voice echoing. Is that echoing in my room, or is that echoing on?
I'm not hearing any echo.
That must just be in my room. I must have terrible acoustics. I don't know why it's affecting me today. There's like a smattering of houses here and there. There's a farmstead off closer to the forest. And everyone who lives in this place in this early morning hour has come to look at the commotion and see the hunting lodge burning behind you. And as soon as they take note of you walking down the hill, everyone immediately like rushes into their homes.
You're free. You're welcome.
You are free! We doth decree that your freedom has been granted.
Keaton's camera has frozen, and that is the. Oh, it's gone now. That was the most flattering freeze frame.
My fucking face.
I might pop
Have
out.
we
just for-
upset? Have we upset a local power dynamic that can never be fixed?
I would like my camera to stop freezing.
I would like it if my Discord chat actually stayed on the screen, even though I was clicking on the Firefox stuff. That'd be awesome. Can I pin it? I sure can. That's
Unfortunately,
amazing.
you won't.
Oh my god, that's amazing. I love it.
You are not blessed with this ugly mug today, unfortunately, as it keeps on freezing.
Oh, well, I guess, Jack, if your internet's fixed, I can put the cameras back on.
Oh, it is.
My heart.
Your
Try getting the
face.
bacon.
Screen share.
Johnny Cash is just playing in my head right now.
What hurt?
Yeah.
How did
It's
he
so
get
big.
in there?
I'm a soul-possessing demon. They're all stuck up here.
That's a lie. You don't own anything.
Elvis and MJ do not like each other.
Okay. So yeah, you guys are on your way out of this keep, is there? Well, not keep. This little hamlet. Is there anything else you were wanting to do here, or are you prepared to move on for the rest?
Cole will
the
straight up
Rubian-
yell what I just yelled,
Mhm.
but past
Yeah, I
that, yeah,
figured.
he's done.
Let's just go.
Do we want to do our due diligence to make sure we don't start a forest fire? Like, just have a quick walk
Is there
around
a
the keep?
forest near the keep?
So the hunting lodge is on a hill that overlooks the high forest. It's right on the border.
So
So
it's not a fire risk?
It could potentially have a fire if a significant amount of smoke and embers were to breeze off in that direction.
what
It's
level of
winter.
create water could I use to at least quench most of the fire?
What does the third level slot get you in terms of square footage? It's like it starts out as a 30-foot square cube,
Yeah,
right?
and it's 5 foot per
Yeah.
level.
So become a 40
40?
foot at that level. Yeah.
And it'd probably take all of your third level spell slots.
It's fine, let's leave. If Tony wants to have this setting, have the high forest completely burnt down, then that's his
Hey,
decision, I guess.
I'll do it.
It's what we're gonna have to do.
I will do it.
Grandfather tree.
It's fine. Chance to grow new life.
Yes, exactly. I'll become a wildfire tree.
Time to multi-class. Team subclasses.
Multiclass back into druid, boys.
Yeah, I think it'll be fine.
Got a level 20, and it's just like 6 different level 3 druids, each with a different subclass.
Well, all in a day's work, Cordana. Let's head back on the road.
It's Vordana.
Cordana? It's Vordana, isn't it?
Is it Vordan?
Yep.
Well, see, I struggle pronouncing my V's. Oh, no, the V is just right next to the C on the keyboard.
You fucking liar.
He says, "That's all right, Wall."
Alright, lads.
What's a synonym for blue that could be my code name?
Aqua.
Okay. That's my
Cyan.
secret agent name when we're trying to be stealthy.
Is Periwinkle blue? I feel like
Yes,
Periwinkle
it
is
is.
blue.
I only remember.
Periwinkle, I love that.
I only remember it because of the that one Reddit April Fool's joke.
Agent Periwinkle.
Hi,
Okay.
my name's Ancient Cuntfa. I mean, what?
Okay, D&D time.
Kunt
This is
Fasay.
D&D. What do you mean?
Actually, truth be told, there's not really a lot that's going to happen to you on the Evermore way unless you specifically have something that you.
Not really. Just get there, right?
Okay.
Just
After about 3 days of travel, and it's pretty monotonous. Even though it's cold, it's gotten rather humid because now you're kind of closing in on the Evermoors, which is this large swampland that would take days to traverse. You come to a part of the trail, and on the edge of the trail is a door.
Why? There's the door.
Yep.
Like flat on the
Connected
ground,
probably?
falling
No,
over?
it's standing up, and it's got a stone arc, and it's like a mahogany door, and there's a little plaque on the top of it that says the Dimension Door.
I don't. Okay. Is this more of your freaky voodoo blue? Have you done this?
What? No.
Is this your freaky voodoo?
I don't make doors. That's Bulwark's domain. He's a carpenter.
How am I meant to know what crazy crap you guys can do? You like click your fingers 1 second and then suddenly everything's on fire.
I've never set fire to anything.
I'm gonna go and push the door. Just give
Oh
it a
god.
little.
Don't touch it.
It
What is it?
gives-
Oh, okay, I won't touch it. I'll cast Detect Magic as a ritual first.
All right. It is very magical.
It seems to be a door. It reads
Wait.
dimension door.
Yeah.
To confirm, So we're traveling. We're traveling along the road, and there's just
Well, it's
a
not so much a
standing
road
door.
as it is a trail.
Okay.
And yes, there's a
And
door on the edge of this trail. It's rather late in the
And-
evening.
and it's just like there's nothing behind it. It's just a door.
Yep.
Do we just like leave
Well,
that there?
And it
no, I'm
is
very curious.
it is magical door.
But
I'm gonna touch it.
what about going to
Can you
Everland?
actu-
Wasn't that massively important?
Yes, it is, but it's just a door. Wait, I'm gonna doff my armor. I'm gonna put the bag of holding with all the gold in it, like in the cart, and then I'm gonna go up and I'm gonna touch the door with my
It's
armor.
just a door until
my
you're stuck
shield
in the
out.
Dales.
In
Right.
Blue's 54 years of traveling the world, has he seen anything like this?
No.
Okay.
I'm gonna touch it with my mace on the door handle, like ding.
Okay.
What if it opens and suddenly we're in the Dales? Then we're fucked.
Yeah.
There is a wood thud sound when you hit your mace with it.
I'll knock the door. Knock, knock, knock.
Okay. You knock. No response.
Turn the handle.
It's not so much a handled door as it's like one of those things where you got to like press the lever and push it open. Like one of those handles where there's like a thing for your thumb to push down. You know what I'm talking
Yes.
Must be an American thing.
about?
It's basically just a bolt lock that lifts up when you press down a little
Like
button on
that?
the. Yep.
Yes.
Okay.
And then you like push it or pull it open. And actually, this you would pull open.
Pull it open.
Okay. When you pull open the door, inside is a rather large dining area. Wood floors. It seems to be a single story, but there's a staircase that kind of goes up to nowhere. There is a bar, but there's no one at the bar. There is a person who is in kind of like a meditative stance, and their skin is yellow and kind of has the brown colorations on it. He doesn't have a nose. He has like these 2-inch long slits where his nose would be. He has this long white hair that kind of flows down to where his waist would be if he were standing. There are a few tables and chairs scattered about. His ears are pointed and almost elvish, but kind of frilled along the bottom. And the robes that he's wearing are kind of shifting colors in this kind of psychedelic, smooth gradient.
All right.
That doesn't seem very safe for him.
I'm not going to say anything. I'm just going to motion for everyone, just like, what the fuck? Come over, look at this shit.
That's not right. No.
I think he's sick. And I'll speak in Elvish. Hello, are you okay? You look pretty ill.
I'm sure. Has Blue ever heard or seen of this race before?
You can make an Arcana check,
Well, I will do the same.
or yeah.
They're elves. They have pointy ears.
No, you have not.
Oh, look!
Obviously
Why do you
an
have why do you have Blue's intelligence now? What the heck?
Well, he's never seen one of these things before. I'm not going to make him roll. It's just something he'd never known before. And he kind of looks like an elf.
Would I have any knowledge of this?
You actually might make an Arcana check.
15.
Yeah, so in the Underdark, there is a heavier presence of mind flayers, and it is not uncommon for the Githyanki to come in through extraplanar portals and wipe out colonies where they are found. However, this particular being, while he bears a resemblance to the images or stories you might have heard, is not quite the muscular, well-trained vision that you would have had, and that leads you to believe that this is probably a Githzerai. You know that the Githyanki and the Githzerai have some philosophical differences between them, but not enough to really explain the difference between.
So it's a gift array, right?
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
And as you're just kind of standing there with the door open, he speaks out in this. Oh no, he doesn't speak. It's kind of in your mind that he says, "Well, you're bringing in a draft. Either come in or don't."
Would we be able to get back out if we came in?
Yes.
Like back out to where
Then in.
we are right now, which is on a road in the middle of nowhere.
Yes. You not
Okay.
Do you not understand how this kind of thing works?
Not even a little bit, no.
Unfortunately, it's not my job to educate you.
You just say it's an inn. This is a fancy establishment.
It is an amazing thing what you can do with your mind.
It's a
Now, as I
mind
said,
in?
you're letting in a draft.
How many
Is
chances
it-
do we have to go into a mind in, fellas?
Is it the end of the day?
I'm sorry.
Is it the end of the day, or do we still
It's
have quite a bit of
you've
travel?
you've traveled a good bit today. It's in the evening. The sun is low.
Okay.
You could probably travel more.
Are you dog friendly?
You can see that he ponders for a moment. I don't see why not.
Yeah, why not?
I don't think I've ever met a dog before.
Well, this is a glorious day, and I'll whistle for
He
Ava
doesn't
to
have
come
a
out.
he doesn't have a stable though, unless there's another door big enough for the horses to enter.
Oh no, unfortunately not. No stable.
Unless we just
people-
leave the horses alone.
Most people come on foot.
Okay, how about
Are
this?
you
I chill on the
horse
carriage for the
friendly?
night.
They're not going to
I
fit through the door ball.
suppose for an extra fee, I could manifest a stable for your.
How much
carriage.
a fee? How much we talking?
I charge 10 for a room. I think to manifest a stable, I would want something.
Oh no. Do we offer him the spear?
Open to
No.
negotiation.
We're not giving away any of our
Now, are you
magic
coming in or not? I really don't like for there to be a.
We need to know about the stable first.
You can.
Well, let's just come inside and we can talk about it. Let's not give this man a draft. He doesn't like drafts very much.
Okay.
So he's not a horse fan then, if he doesn't like draft horses.
Fuck off, dude.
Take a D4 psychic damage. Kidding.
Does he know what salt is?
I know what's salt.
I'm just checking. Then I'll put the big bag of salt I got.
Some good salt.
No, I don't think so.
Could we have maybe an example of what would constitute interesting enough?
I don't know. Surprise me.
Do you want a story?
Would depend on the story. And as you enter in, and I'm assuming close the door behind you.
Yes.
But what you would notice that you would all notice. No, she's not hiding. In the corner of one of the corners of the establishment, like when you walk in, you wouldn't have seen her from the front. But there is an elf sitting at a table, kind of facing towards the rest of the establishment, eating some kind of soup. She has kind of like a blue tint to her skin, and she's wearing this dress that is a very deep, almost like a royal blue color, and it's kind of fringed with this gold thread along the edges. The word escapes me for when trim. It's kind of trimmed with a gold thread.
Hi there.
And she seems to have this massive javelin behind her on the wall.
Again, hi there. Sorry for interrupting your meal.
She nods at you.
I think that went well. Alright, story. Bulwark, you got some fun stories.
Hmm. Which story is the best story?
Before you indulge me in your tale, welcome to the Dimension Door. I am Selkant.
Lovely to meet you.
Hi, I'm Blue.
How
Name's
quaint.
Cole.
Bulwark. Just to make sure, will this establishment be? When we get out of that door, are we going to get out where we left?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
Sweet. Perfect. All right. Well, we've got enough money for the 5 of our rooms, or unless we can bunk.
There are only 4 of us, dude.
Oh,
Oh, wait.
stay.
Sorry, Vordana. Sorry. That's on
She
me.
can't hear you, luckily. She's outside with
No,
horses.
she's inside, and she is.
Or is she inside?
She came in with you, and she is as much amazed by this place as you are. You would watch as a mug floats from the bar to the elf's table without seemingly any other interaction.
What's all this voodoo? You're upsetting the natural balance. Melodius.
I can regale him with the stories of Abadar and all of the wars I'm aware of and all of my great knowledge of all these amazing dwarven battles and their tactics.
Or we
can't
could
wait
offer
for
this
duels
money.
they had.
Okay, Bulwark, I'll let you make a performance check with your intelligence modifier.
Yeah.
Calling these battles.
Can I
Can I add
enhance his
history
ability?
to
Hmm? No,
Can I add my
it'd be an
history?
intelligence check, and if you're proficient in performance, you can add your proficiency.
Okay.
Can I enhance his intelligence?
Are you going to cast a spell in front of this ancient being?
Yes, I'll say, don't worry, it's not an offensive spell, it's just to help my friend here.
An offensive spell is just a big middle finger floating in midair.
I mean, are you casting guidance on him?
I'm casting enhance ability to give him advantage.
I'm gonna say no because I don't think you would necessarily know what ability he would have been using, right? Because obviously he's gonna go into this tail. You don't know if he's gonna, right?
No,
If you want to guide him, you can. Oh.
He can do that himself.
Um.
23.
Yeah. So you go into this. You go into this long exuberation of these various dwarven battles that have occurred in the history that you know.
And I get a bit into it, and I stand up and I reenact some of the duels, and I get on the table and I just have a good time.
And this whole time, he doesn't seem very enthused, right? But you can definitely tell that he is absorbing the information as he watches you go through this kind of dramatic reenactment, this one man show. It's very matter of fact and as you get towards the end, he says, all right, I fine. Yes, there. And he kind of closes his eyes for a moment and gets back into that meditative stance. And okay, carriage and horses there in the morning.
Wait, they're in the stable already?
He blinks at you. Says yes.
Wow. You moved them all by yourself.
At least I hope
That's very
they're.
impressive.
The question could be if they're there in the way that they were before I sent them there.
I don't know what that means.
Organs are kind of tricky.
Well, we can think about this in the morning.
I agree. Once they're sort of messed around, it's kind of hard to fix them.
Will you just be needing a room or rooms, or will you need yourself?
I'm fine as
Rooms and
far as
food?
food's concerned.
Unless you got any special meals that you have on offer.
Steaks from the flame cows of the fire plane. There are, I think, a few of the edible rocks. Elemental.
Oh, I gotta grab some of those edible rocks. And I will also
think I
hand in
have-
50 gold for the 5 rooms.
I'd have to check, but I think there is still some juvenile kraken.
All very exotic. Do you have any good berries?
Oh, you're one.
Oh no, not the good berry
We
argument
don't
again.
allow outside food in this establishment, sir.
I guess I gotta take my dummy out of here then.
Your what?
I'm not gonna elaborate.
I think it was a gold a day.
Just take out like a whole year's worth and be done with it.
You could. She would be fine with that. It would be 300 gold if you wanted. And just retain her services.
I'll just do it day by day.
Okay.
Well, it's already been 3 days, remember that.
Yep, I've been keeping track.
Okay. I think, I don't know if everyone's finished with that discussion on food, but at some point during the stay, Blue would approach and say,
Approach.
forgive me if my assumption is the what did he say his name was? It was like
Selkant.
Selkant, that's right. Approach Selkant and say, forgive me if my assumption is wrong, but you seem to be a pretty powerful wizard. I was wondering if I could ask
no,
for your...
I don't dabble in the game. The weave is too messy.
Oh, then how do you do all this?
This is a increased manifestation.
Okay.
But a figment
Do
of
you-
my imagination.
Oh, I see. So you don't have much knowledge on the arcane or anything like that?
I did study the theory of magic during few of the 100 years I spent in the astral. I may be able to answer a question, but I am not a practiced master as one.
Okay, well, up in my room, a while ago, we killed an Oni. I think wait, did we figure out that it was an Oni? I don't want to speak out of meta.
I think
we
so,
did.
yeah.
Yeah. We killed an Oni, and he was wielding this glaive that I've left upstairs. And it's a nice glaive, but it seems to be like possessed or sentient by one of I don't know, it seems to be the departed soul of one of their victims, maybe. And they seem nice enough, but they seem a little bit hell bent on vengeance. And I was wondering if you knew much about sentient weapons, and also if maybe it would be possible to calm them down a little bit.
Unfortunately, the matter of possessed items did not fall into my studies.
Okay, that's fine. Thank you for trying to answer my question at least. Okay. Well, I guess that's all. Did you
Is there a
have anything
particular
you needed help
room?
with?
Is there a particular room you'd like to stay in tonight?
There are options.
Hmm.
Can we know them?
Well, there is the sea room, star room,
I'll take the C room.
tundra. Oh no, desert room is, and the rain.
Can I have the C room, please?
Yes, in gold.
Yes, yes. Where's the party
I,
fund?
I already took out 50 gold.
Oh, okay. Yep, there's.
Wait, Vordana's not paying for her own.
If she wants, but like it's
We
not like
already
money's
paid her,
an
did
op- it's not like money's an. We didn't really get into detail with our contract. Or we contract.
Yeah, do we pay for her accommodation?
I think we can treat Vordana to a little.
She hasn't done too much yet. She's still got to earn her.
Well, I'll leave it up to your discretion, but it's 10 gold from our 13k party fund, so I'm not too worried.
Hmm.
I feel like Jeff Bezos. Should they get free healthcare?
You say you're from the astral plane. I look up to the stars a lot. I wouldn't mind experiencing what that's like if that's what the star room is.
Certainly, that can be done. Will it just be the two then?
Yeah, I'll try the star room as well. It seems the most hospitable to me, I guess.
I think it's one room per person.
You can have as many people in a room as you like.
Right, well.
We save 10 gold then.
If you don't mind, I'll take the rainforest room.
Where's
Very well.
Vordana staying?
Vordana will too. Of the ones that's remaining, she's not too thrilled, so she'd like to stay with Hera.
I mean,
That's fine with Melia.
Well, whenever you are ready to head off to your rooms, walk up the stairs.
I like this place. Very hospitable.
It's
Yeah,
very
it's pretty
cool.
good.
I don't understand how he's doing it.
And then Cole's just gonna run up the stairs to try see the C room.
Okay. You
Other stairs.
start walking up the stairs, and you eventually you can feel the stairs beneath your feet, but you start heading off into this black void. And eventually you kind of have to crawl your way. Feel like this barrier on top, and it's loose and it's kind of grainy like sand, and you start to have to kind of claw your way through it. And as you break the surface, you come into at first what is dark, but you hear the sound of rushing water. And as you
Ooh.
kind of really claw your way up and through, a lamp that is on a night table lights itself, and you see that you are essentially in the bottom of the ocean. It is very dark outside of what appears a hemispherical dome. About 30 or so feet in diameter, there is a bed, the frame of which seems to be made out of coral. There are a number of small fish who disperse as the lamp lights itself. And then as it kind of dims back down to a less intrusive brightness, start to see a bit of ocean light go by.
Ooh. Never seen the sea from this perspective before. Yeah, he'll probably just chill in his room.
Bulwark and Blue, as you do the same, bit of a different experience because instead of having to claw your way through something, eventually the stairs just end, and you feel as though your feet have given way for a moment, um, like a 2-inch drop, and then you feel solid purchase. And what you see is that you are now miles and miles above Faerun. There is a platform that you are standing on, and there is a bedroom set. There's a pretty standard bed, nightstand, lamp that lights as you find yourself in the space. And then there's a stairway that goes up, and that kind of is situated into like another bedroom landing. There, it's not that one is on top of the other. It's like the stairs kind of go off and adjacent, so that one's not blocking the view of the other. And it seems to be situated on a cloud. And if you were to walk to the border, you would feel a wall, even though you can see completely through it.
This is pretty cool. It's like being on Zephyrus's tower again.
I was just about to say that.
Oh, okay. I did have a question.
Yes.
Do you
Should
know?
Should Ava hear this question and I'll cover her ears?
What did you think I was going to ask? Of course, Ava can hear it. I was going to ask if you knew any tales. I probably should know some, but I can't remember any. Do you know any tales of giants that have done like heroic or good things?
Not gonna lie, dwarvish history kind of bias.
I mean, yeah.
There's a lot of nationalism going on there,
Is there a history that isn't biased?
probably not. I'll give it.
Dwarves and giants are enemies. Dwarves and orcs. Dwarves and elves.
Dwarves and
Dwarves and
everyone.
dwarves.
Can I give it a history check?
Yeah, sure. You rack your brain for tales of dwarven heroes, and you are able to actually think of one. It takes you a good long think. And actually, I know the name, but I don't know the tale associated with it. So give me just one moment.
They're just thinking, going, wait, is that it? Nope, that's a dwarf. Another dwarf. Another dwarf. That was a Goliath. He was just very tall. No, that was just Brom the Tall. He was 5'4". No giants. Wait, thinking again. I've got it.
So there is a tale of a giant whose name was Harshnag, and he was a frost giant. And it's not like he was legendary, but he was a member of an organization known as Force Grey, which is a defensive group kind of based in Waterdeep. And really the purpose of the organization is purely just to defend Waterdeep from threats that the City Guard and the Griffin Cavalry can't handle. Extraplanar threats, demonic invasions, wizards gone mad, that type of thing. In particular, Harshnag the Grim was able to defend the city of Waterdeep from evil giants who, at one point, terrorized the city.
Interesting.
Maybe we could have a chat with him.
If does he still live? How long ago was this?
It was quite a while ago.
Well, giants live pretty long lives. Maybe he's chilling around Waterdeep. head back down after we've gone to Felbar for our letter reward thing.
Maybe.
Do
We might have some info on fire giants.
He might. But also, the main reason I was asking you because I wanted to have a talk with my new friend. Okay, I'm going to, having been regaled with this story on this cloud, going to sort of sit and put the glaive sort of across from me.
The glaive
And
feels
say-
very agitated that this tale of a giant being like looked favorably upon. It's very frustrated by that.
Okay, so I'm going to set it down in front of me, and then I'm going to cast Calm Emotions and see if that works on the glaive.
Do I have that file on this?
Oh.
Oh no, did I not put it here? Bet I didn't.
Yeah. Well, I guess it accepts giant kid. You have to be full giant to earn its hatred.
I don't mind the half giants, but it's the full giants that get me.
I personally like to imagine like it just doesn't know that Fearbolgs are giants, and like it finds out, it's like, you've been lying to me.
Giant shaped man. Take
You're
me and
one
help
of
me kill
them.
giants. My mother was a giant, first of all.
All right, Hagrid.
The glaive's like, I'm not anti-giant. My wield is a giant.
Oh my god. I just force him to kill his own kind.
Put calm emotions in the chat.
Yes. So how do I do that? Oh, thank you. Because doing that from D&D Beyond, I'm not sure exactly how to do that.
Yeah, it's one of my oath spells.
You cast the spell into the weapon, and it does not find a target to hold on to.
Yeah, that's kind of what I thought. Instead, I will cast Enhance Ability on myself, Eagle Splendor, and I will say. So I can't remember this, but I'm sure Blue would. Did Retribution gave me a name of who they were before, right? Did they?
No, she did not.
Okay. Well, I'll say. I guess I'll call her Retribution. Retribution. Hello.
Yes.
How are you going?
Restless. Why are we waiting?
Well, I have to rest, unfortunately. I'm not as powerful as you. I did want to. You heard that tale. It's nice to know there are some good giants out there, isn't it?
Just to cut from the.
I agree. If there's something bad, you should probably remove it from the rest of them. But if we
I'm
come
glad
across
that
some
we're
good,
in agreement.
the evil ones, yeah. But if we come across some bad ones, I mean, if we come across some good ones, they could help us fix the problem.
She said giantkin, not just giants.
I see that, but that was not all giants. I understand you're in pain, and I want to help you, but you say you're restless, and you will be forever if you continue harboring this hatred.
If my hatred leads to a cleansing for the North, so be it.
Don't you want to be at peace?
I will be at peace when they are destroyed.
You don't think there's a single good giant that deserves to be spared?
An exception to the rule, if there is one.
So you do, maybe.
I haven't seen it. I won't accept it if I were. If a giant were to pretend to be good to get into your graces, it would surely betray you. If it were smart enough to.
I wanted to clarify, since I'm not sure if you're, but I am giant kitten.
I am well
And
aware of your flaw.
yes.
Jesus!
um, and I've been nothing but nice to you, so I'm not harboring. I'm sure you can see into my mind with your, I don't know, your mysterious powers. You know that I'm not being deceptive.
He doesn't respond.
Okay. Well, that went well.
Relationship problems in Dungeons and Dragons.
When your
Could I?
sentient weapon is racist as fuck.
I tell the Glazer.
You're not
story?
hearing any of this.
Blue? Oh, okay.
Well,
You're
you
just
might be
hearing
you
Blue
might be
talk
hearing
to
what
himself.
Blue is saying. I don't know.
Hmm.
Oh god, that is just terrible.
I guess I will continue to say to the glaive. I understand that right now you're not feeling perhaps very happy with me after that conversation, but I did also want to talk to you. The other day when we were fighting those trolls, you tried to force me to do something. If you do that at the wrong time, you could get one of my friends killed.
There's no response.
My friends are very powerful people, and they've killed giants themselves. If you get one of them killed, they won't be able to kill any more giants.
Don't no response.
Okay, we're done for the night.
Okay.
You're
Malira, you climb up these stairs with Vordana, and you feel it suddenly become very humid. And as the lamp lights itself, you see two separate beds, and the two nightstands and the two lamps are kind of opposite each other. And you are on top of a cliff that overlooks a large rainforest. And beside your bedroom situation is a waterfall that is flowing down into this forest. And as the lanterns light, a number of multicolored birds kind of fly off of the cliff and into the distance. And with your passive perception, you can see that a ways off in the jungle, there is a rumbling and a few trees fall over. And
I'll,
if you were to walk close enough to the edge of the cliff, there would be a wall there.
she'll walk up to the wall, looking where those trees fell down,
Mhm.
and then she'll close her eyes and focus and listen into the sounds around her.
There
Is
is
there any?
the cawing of birds. You wait a moment. And there is this loud primal roar off in the distance, unlike anything you've ever heard.
She'll hold
Roll
it for a
initiative.
sec, then she'll hold it for a sec, then open her eyes and look off
When you
back to
open
where
your
those
eyes
trees
and
are.
when you open your eyes and kind of look off to the side, there's kind of a thump against what you imagine to be the wall of. You look, and there is a zombie there, and it's just kind of like thudding itself against the wall as if it doesn't even see that it's there. It doesn't even seem to be paying you any mind. It just is trying to move through the space.
I'll try and divine sense.
You don't get anything. You would imagine that if there is a wall there, then it would be providing that creature total cover.
Divine
If you're actually
sense, what
physically
word?
here.
Yeah. If she sees the zombie, she'll clock it, check divine sense, see that it's not actually proccing through her divine sense. She's not smelling anything or just feeling
I
anything.
mean, you smell it.
She'll, yeah.
Like if you got close enough to it, like even if you got face to face with it, it wouldn't notice it. You wouldn't be able to note. It wouldn't notice you, but like the smell of the decay would be pretty noticeable.
I walk up right next to it and then just like tap on the wall between us.
Doesn't acknowledge your presence at all. Appears not to hear the noise.
It's a little disturbing to have the undead at our walls, but I don't think we're either not here or we are here and this wall is that strong that he can't even perceive us.
When you turn around to say that to Vordiana, she is unpacking her things and putting a few things in the nightstand next to her bed. And then suddenly she is not there and she's instead laying on her bed. Like she just is at the
Okay.
nightstand in one moment and then the very next she's on her bed. And she says,
Guess it's another effect of this place.
nope, that's just me. I think I understand how
Okay.
this guy's doing that now.
I have a bit of knowledge about him, yes. Now start to take off my armor and place it in the corner of the room. And sit on her bed and enter a trance. Actually, no, she'll stay up just looking around the area for 4 hours and then enter a trance.
Okay. There is a point during your kind of observations where in the forest on the top of the cliff where you are, a couple of strange creatures kind of poke out of the tree line and make a dash for the river, and they're bipedal. They're probably about 3 feet tall. They look like kobolds in a way, but instead of scales, their body is feathered, and they have these large talons on their feet, and their mouths and muzzles are not quite draconic. They're almost reptilian in a way. Um, and they run up to the river and like jump into it for a moment and then jump out. And as they jump out, it appears that they have grabbed a few fish out of it. And then they run off into the other side of the river, the other side of the forest.
She's in Cholt, right?
Mm.
Yeah, I was thinking, a place zombies look
Dinosaur.
raptor like
Dinosaur.
kobolds. Yeah, this is probably Chol. But she doesn't know that. What's Chol? Is it food? Yeah, she was just gonna watch him and then as time passes, she'll then enter a trance.
Okay. As you all would wake up, unless there's anything else you guys wanted to do for the evening. As you all would wake up, you find yourselves back in the dimension door, waking up at a table. And if you were in a different room, you are at a different table. So, like Bulwark and Blue, you would wake up at the same.
Pretty cool.
Well, that was an experience.
I'll have to come back here.
It was pretty sick.
Oh, we probably won't be here the next time you need us.
Do you just appear on random rows?
I don't really ever know where we appear. Just
Oh.
do.
All right.
Can I have some of the edible rocks to go? Or do they not make it through the door all right?
They would not.
Wait, so
I'll
does
just
that
go
mean
to
that
myself.
anything we eat here, by the time we leave, will be gone from our stomachs?
Not really how it works. I thought you had it down when you went up to your room.
Eh,
I don't get all this crazy voodoo stuff you people do. I just have learned to live with it.
Could you do me a favor? That my other patron, she seems to have left her weapon there by the wall. I have no need of it.
You know where she went?
Nope. And I'm fairly certain she didn't come through the same door that you did.
Ah, bugger. All right, I'll take it.
If we ever see her again, we'll give it back.
Who goes and picks up this javelin?
I'll do it.
Okay. When you go to pick up this javelin and get a better look at it, it is not a wooden javelin as you might have thought it would, but it's massive in size. The conical bit of it seems to be made out of some type of bone structure. The ends, like the end of that conical structure, seems to be made of some kind of blue scaled material, and the handle itself is made out of a dark steel.
Oh, that's pretty cool, actually. Yeah, we'll definitely get this back to her. Also,
There's
Ollie, you
actually
realize that's
also a note on it.
Ollie, you realize that's not whispered real quick. And all right,
I know,
can I read
I
it?
know.
Cole,
Tony?
there's also a note on the letter.
Yeah, I did say, can I read it? I don't know if I came through. I'm
Do
having internet issues.
you speak Elvish?
Ooh, do I?
Was that yes, or is that you
No,
gotta
I'm
check?
looking.
Okay.
Damn it! Why did I pick undercommon? Because it would be funny.
It is not an undercommon. Does undercommons share the same linguistics? I don't think it does.
No, it doesn't. It's not at all.
Yeah, and even if it did, like, you would only recognize the letters and not the orientation. Yep. Nope, you can't read it.
Are you having
Alright.
trouble there, Cole?
Yeah, there seems to be a piece of paper here, but it's got squiggles on it.
Blue will walk over and look
I'll
over
walk
Cole's
over as
shoulder.
well.
Look, see, there's a squiggle here, and then another squiggle here, and a weird scratch mark here. And I think
think
they
the
It's
spilled
quite
the ink.
easy to say.
I think Malira and I can read it. It's okay, Cole.
It says, "Here, take this, ugly pirate man. I think you'll need it more than I will."
Ugly?
Fine, Miri.
Hmm.
So,
I
Ugly?
also read Elvish. No, I'm kidding, and I'll give him a pat on the back.
she said that we'll find it useful, and she was called Thymiri.
Alright, yeah, sure. Why not? And Cole's just gonna grab it and add it to his growing weapon collection.
Bulwark, we've got a few potions that we're not sure what they do, as well as this new. When
Oh,
we have
I
time,
had
could you
2
identify?
potions on me because I've identified them during my rest. Because
Do you have
I was about to like 4. I picked up the 2 potions from the.
I think we had a conversation a while back that you kind of need to identify magical items. But with potions, if you wanted to, you could take a sip of them and get an idea of what they do.
Yeah. I had like 4 hours. We had like 3-4 days of just nothing happening, so we could have
Yeah, that's true. You could have
identified them.
done that.
Okay, we did that.
I don't have.
I
How's
don't.
it?
I don't know what all items you have.
I don't have identify prepared, so I could wait a day. Then I can identify what the.
You've
javelin
also had a
does.
couple of days of travel that you could have done it.
I could have
so
done it
we
to
had-
the potion.
Well, we've got 3 potions. So Malira's got 2. I can't remember the description for hers. I know mine is a potion with. I've got 2 potions with animal bits in them.
So those are
I
going to be
think we-
potions of speaking with animals. Pretty sure.
Okay.
I know one of them had a darker red tint for health potion. I can't
Didn't you have a dragon
remember
scale in
what
it as well?
I think he
No, that was
changed
retconned.
it. Yeah. To something else. I can't
If you
remember.
wrote down where you got the potion, I will probably remember.
It was from the Hunter's Lodge in Noanar's Hold.
Yeah, we just got them. There was one that was like fiery and you thought had a dragon scale in, but then
I think that
changed
one's
it.
let me double check, but I'm pretty sure that's a potion of fire breath.
Oh,
I gotta go back up to where you
Some
rolled
AoE.
for the treasure. Oh, the whole point of me having the second computer was so I could look at this stuff here. D&D Beyond.
Need a corner desk, my man. Best thing in existence. Just swivel slightly to the left. There's your laptop hooked up
Well,
to
I mean, the table that I'm at's big enough to do that, and I have that up for that particular reason, but then I started doing it on the main computer, which is not what I wanted. Magic item. Not A to Z. Magic item.
Yummy. Ava would have had such a fun time barking at all the animals flying around in the stars.
Blue didn't have silence prepared, but he would have asked Ava nicely to be quiet if he
Okay.
was doing that.
So the orange flickering potion is a potion of fire breath, and the darker, bigger red potion is a greater healing.
Good to have.
And actually, Blue, it was not
Give the
potion of
fire
speak with
breath.
animals. It was 2 potions of animal friendship.
Yeah, I assumed as much.
And this javelin is a javelin of lightning. Bulwark, when you identify it, and I know you said you don't have it identified today, but you probably get it tomorrow. When you identify it, you learn that the scaled material and the bone are from a blue.
Oh.
And appears to be what gives this javelin this power.
So what are we working with here, Bulwark? What am I going to be throwing around like a maniac?
From my understanding, it can transform into a bolt of lightning and just annihilate a target.
It can turn into lightning.
Essentially.
Whatever happened to good old fashioned?
You have to speak a command word, I think.
Yeah, with the javelin of lightning, there is a command word component.
Yep.
Oh, it needs it doesn't come back. No.
I mean, we can
Just
always
throw
pick
it.
up.
No, it does not come back. So if you lose that shit, it's gone.
You can always just pick it up.
You could,
So
if it's there to pick it up, or you could lose it like
You
Grog off
throw
the
it.
top of a tower.
It misses. The goblin grabs it and runs away, and you never see that shit again.
I would chase that goblin down.
It's okay. I'm preparing locate objects from now on.
I can also take it as well.
What, you on the shiny lightning javelin, but you're always on your horse?
Well, I haven't summoned him for several days now.
Yeah, because you've been sat in a carriage. And
Why
he
haven't-
died again.
Why haven't you summoned him again, Malira?
I've just not seen the need to actually have him out.
Bulwark. What languages do you speak?
Common, Dwarvish, Giant, Goblin, Elvish, Orc.
You went real fast there.
I speak Elvish, Goblin, Giant, Dwarvish, and Orc.
Okay.
Not draconic then.
The you know the word because Identify gives it to you, but it's not a language that you speak. So you could say it and reproduce it, but you don't it's you're unfamiliar with it.
Does
The
our
word
friend know
is
what it means?
the word is Kazarax.
Ozarax. Anyone ring a bell for anyone?
Kazrak.
I'm pretty sure
Okay,
Cole
Can't
does
Medieval
not.
say-
speech.
Can't say it does.
Isn't that the thing that happens to your eye when you
No,
get
that's
old?
cataracts.
Ah,
Cole is very
Okay.
familiar.
We
I
spend
always
most
take
of our
that
time staring out of
very-
an eyeglass. When somebody's looking out of an eyeglass and suddenly their eyes all shiny and they can't see too good, it kind of... We call them useless and just throw them off, but...
Yeah, none of you. I just looked at your languages. None of you know what this is or what that word means.
Isn't it an armored horse formation used by the Byzantine Empire? Wait, that's a Cathrax.
I thought he was a one-eyed man who fought with Todd. What is it, Boris Toddbringer? Myself.
Boris Toddbringer.
Yeah, Kazrak One Eye from Warhammer.
Maybe that's a better name than Boris Johnson for our mule.
Well, Boris Toddbringer. Yeah, he's a fucking sick guy. He got a great mustache.
Okay, we can rename Boris Johnson if you want.
Right, so who's taking it? Want me to just lob it at people, or
Probably
I
best
think
for you, Alex Cole. You are always complaining about not being able to get into the fight quick enough.
yeah, because I've got tiny legs.
Just attack from range. This thing now.
appropriate my culture of having tiny legs.
I'm pretty sure several races have tiny legs.
Yeah, but that's like
Humans aren't one
a
of them.
thing.
Like, have you seen what are they called? The Gnomies.
No, this is the
No.
Gnomie.
Goblin. Anyway, I
Yeah,
assume we're-
Gnoblins. Yeah, they also have tiny legs.
Are we on the road or are we just like bickering in the tavern?
You haven't said that you left the tavern yet, so I imagine that you haven't.
We leave and
I'll
let's get
ask-
the horses and go.
Well, I'll just ask if that guy knows what that word means.
That is
Or if he could dream up that tells us the name.
that is an old draconic word. Lightning.
Thank you. Well, see you when I see you. Have a good one.
He nods.
Hey, it was nice to meet you.
He nods and bids you farewell. And when you leave and close the door, your carriage and animals are all outside. And when the door is closed, you turn, and the door is gone.
Well, that was interesting.
I was under the bloody ocean.
I'm gonna be right back.
It was wicked.
Yeah, me and
Yeah.
I can't remember her name. God damn it,
Bordana.
Or Dana.
Vordana. Me and Vordana were on the top of a mountain in the jungle area, and well, there was quite a few things that happened over there.
Like what?
Well, there was a zombie that kept walking into I guess, trying to walk into our room, but didn't notice either me or Valdana or the room being there.
All right, so I got cool ocean fun time. Those two were staring at the stars all night, and you had a rotting corpse.
Well, I also saw activity in the jungle.
It was quite
To-
nice. Colored birds, weird reptile bird things.
Yeah, there's a lot of strange wildlife. From my guess, he actually put us in a room in those locations. Not like illusion magic. He actually had made these our rooms there. From my best guess.
His mind powers were real fancy. I haven't seen someone able to have like a gnat flying around, and it's very frustrating, and I don't know why. But she says, yeah, he can project his will out pretty far. I can get about 30 feet or so. That was something else.
You have 30 feet.
All right, Queen Humble Brag. Jesus.
Well, no, I mean I haven't had to do it yet, but point A, point B, be there, not here, 30 feet.
That's pretty cool.
And that took a long time to do, so I don't know how long this guy spent managing that, and kind of like points your thumb
Well,
back in that direction.
He said he's been around for what, hundreds of years? So
I've never seen one of his type before.
Maybe if
long.
I have
his type.
progressing your powers, you could open your own inn.
It's too lazy for my taste.
Well, anyway, let's keep on going up to Felbar.
Okay. We're going to Everland.
Okay. It is a 4-day journey to Everland. You can stop in Lawson's Hold if you want, but you don't really have a reason to take the detour. Up to you.
No reason to.
All right, boom. Everland. So, thing about Everland. I have a map for it on here.
If you don't, we can always take the break so you've got time to grab it.
Yeah, it is one, to be fair.
Yeah, let's do that. Let's take a break, and then I'll pop a map up for Everland.
As we go to take the break, Tony, is the lightning javelin just a classic standard lightning javelin I can drag on my sheet?
Javelin of lightning, yes.
Yeah, cool. Also, dog.
The lightning javelin and the javelin of lightning are two different things. One of them casts lightning bolt as you throw, the other one just lets you get struck by lightning.
Okay, all right. We'll be back in a bit. Gonna do stuff and things.
Say hello, Cody. Say hello. Hello.
It's just a black void on your screen.
Yeah, you can't really see any of his actual features. Okay, time for breakfast for you.
Time for coffee, because I'm not going to bed after this. What the fuck?
So good, isn't it?
That's not a... We're a wholesome stream.
Okay, there we go. Yes, we are. I'm glad we came back to that. Good job, guys. Oh, I'm on
Professional.
Reddit. I don't need to be on Reddit. Let's get off of Reddit while I'm here. Okay, we're back. We're here. We're get used to it. Not all
Wait,
of us
we are?
No, some of us.
This was a revelation for me.
Hey, if this is your sexual awakening, if this is your gay awakening, I'm glad to have been a part of it. I was about to go into a rant about what my gay awakening was, but then I realized this is not the time or the place. Happy
Yeah, we are
Pride,
streaming.
everybody.
Happy Pride.
Happy
This map is beautiful.
Yep, this came straight from the book.
Very pretty map.
Okay, so
Good time forward.
Everland is a pretty sizable city. At its longest, wait, there's a foot there? Oh, who did that? Delete.
You're the worst.
At its longest, probably 3/4 of a mile in diameter. A river cuts it in half. There are a few docks where people will load up goods and then take them to other points along the river. Very big trade city. As such, it is quite populous. There is a massive wall that surrounds it. Obviously, that wall does not extend into the river, but the two bridges are drawbridges. Can you imagine that if an offensive force were to come and try to take one of the halves of the city, the drawbridges would go up, people would retreat to the other side, and it would be easier to take back. There is quite a hustle and bustle that you're not quite used to. Luskin was crowded, but it was also a kind of shady environment. Everland seems to be a bit, I don't want to say more higher class, but it is more, it doesn't seem to have the same poverty issue. It does seem to be more well defended. There are more like official guards. There is, if they're noticeable by their armor and their insignias. They're pretty well uniformed. There's a massive market where number 8 is. It's big open space, and the shops are kind of like on the outskirts of it. And then there are people with their little vending bazaars. There's also this massive tower where number 7 is toward the north side of the city. Easily stretches up hundreds of feet. It doesn't look like anything special in particular, other than it's the tallest structure in the city.
I like this
Cool.
place. You know, I feel like this place would be great to settle down.
And open up your singing bar.
Oh, I forgot about the singing bar. I mean, look at it. It's all peaceful. You don't have to worry about somebody robbing you blind. That tower is sick.
Speaking of robbing, everyone mind your gold piece, and I'm going to put my coin pouch like in my breastplate.
Yeah, I'll do the same.
You have
Tuck it
all
under
of-
my half plate.
I thought all your gold
Oh.
was in the bag of holding.
Most of it
I've got
is,
my
but-
own I've got my personal stash that's on my hip, but the majority of it is in the bag.
Yeah, I've got a few pennies, but not much, so I'll tuck that away.
I put my 2 silver pieces into my pocket.
Actually, I think I should give everyone some spending money. I'll make sure that everyone's got at least 20 gold pieces on them. So, Cole, I'll give you 20 gold pieces for spending money, and I'll give Malira 20 gold pieces for
You
spending
think there's a
money.
blacksmith here who can make a cool sword?
Daddy Warbucks over here.
Probably. And if we need more money, then we can go, but that's just for like food and knickknacks and stuff.
I don't want
So
to.
I knew you would want the 20 gold. It's okay, please.
So if you, I don't know how much you would do on the south side of the city. There appears to be a walled citadel where number 12 is, but the rest of it seems to be mostly residential. In the center market, there are 3 shops of particular interest. And of course, there are various vendors and traders that you could buy things from. But of the three like actual shops for the buildings, there is the Bent Bow Boyer, which seems to be a store for archery and archery related goods. There is Hethmare's High Boots and Nemosen's Fine Brews.
Fine brews, you say?
There is since not everyone is literate, there's a plaque with the name, and then there's like a picture below the name that tells you that's like supposed to be representative of like what the shop is about. Obviously, the Bent Bow Boyer has a bow and arrow sign. Hythmir's High Boots is a pair of boots that hangs from the sign. Nemosen's Fine Brews appears to be a few potion bottles.
I wouldn't mind buying some more potions if they've got some fancy ones.
Yeah, let's go over to the potion shop.
Wait, first we have an urgent. Maybe we can do this later. We've got an urgent message to deliver.
We do?
Yes, we do.
Yeah.
That's why we're here. Bulwark, have you hid your head?
Well, we have to stay the night.
Were you stabbed by a confusing agent?
We got to stay the night. Maybe we can just.
Yeah. So if we
chill
stay the
here for
night, we can experience this stuff tomorrow. What's her face? The young woman with the voice of an old lady. She made it very clear that we had to do this today, or as soon as possible.
Yes.
Yeah, but we can only walk for 8 hours a day. That means
We're in
that
the
leaves us
city.
We're in the
Oh,
city.
we are in. What? Okay, then why can't I go over? Oh no, is there someone in the city?
Yes.
I thought that they were further back. Oh, okay. Fine.
It's not your day, is it, Jack? It's not your day.
No, it's not. Don't make
Yeah,
fun
we
of
need to
me.
head over to Denivar's house.
It doesn't
Oh,
work
aye,
there.
Denivar. That's his name.
Yeah.
Remember the one rule. Ask nothing.
I've got the pendant. I'll give him the bloody pendant.
I think I've got the pendant because I remember her giving it to me.
Okay, you've got the pendant.
Can we
Oh,
focus on the don't
badge.
ask them anything part? I feel like
Yeah.
everybody needs to confirm that they
Like,
know not
can
to
we
ask him
how
anything.
he's doing?
No, ask him nothing.
If we
The
ask
exact
him
words
how
were,
he's doing, okay, ask him nothing.
and that doesn't mean
Okay.
say nothing with a questioning inflection. Don't you dare go
Just
nothing.
walk up to him and throw it at him. Yeah. Let's go over to this tavern.
What tavern? Did she mention like which building it would be in? I don't remember.
No, but we can ask around.
Yes.
She did. She gave you the name of the establishment.
Yeah, wasn't
Can I
it the
try
Tavern
to-
of the Half Orc?
Danavar's house, wasn't it?
Yes,
Mhm,
it's called
sure was.
Denivar's
Denivar's
house.
house.
So that's.
But we don't know what that is in game. So can I try to hail down a person?
It's easy enough to find out where Danavar's house is. It's a pretty commonly known.
Oh, cool.
And you would actually probably find out that it is actually owned by the Zoar family.
Jaka Noah.
No, Zoar.
Damn
Should
it.
we know who that is?
Can I roll a history check, maybe?
Yeah, sure.
17.
Yeah, so there is a person in Everland named Horix Zoar, Horix. He is the high captain of the army in Everland. His family is pretty well off and pretty well respected. Name also itches your brain a bit. And that's because the person who owns Calling Horns is named Tamerlan Zoar.
Ah, shite. Alright, real quick, guys. We might be in a spot of trouble.
Where's that?
Danavar's house, the place we have to go. It's owned by a group of richies called Zoar, the Zoar family. You remember that? You remember that Calling Horns place that we were thrown out of for utter crap?
Yes.
Yeah, she's kind of a member of the Zoar family.
Oh. Well, I'm sure she hasn't. She didn't seem all that magical. I didn't see her casting any spells, so I don't know how she would have sent word ahead, so I'm sure we'll be okay.
Let her. We kind of took a 2-day off course.
We did, but I don't think she had a reason to send a letter about random travelers.
She didn't have a reason to randomly try to throw us out of the town and keep our items.
Well, why don't we just go before that letter arrives? If they don't want us, they don't want us. We just have to give this amulet to this
Valid point.
person.
He's got one eye and he's a half orc, right?
Or did he have one orc and he was a half eye?
He makes a valid point. How are we going to determine this?
I'm sure we'll figure it out.
Roll
What
a knowledge
happens if-
check, see if you remember which one it is.
What happens if there's just coincidentally another half orc with one eye and he just takes his amulet and walks away with it?
I mean, we weren't supposed to give it him. We were supposed to show it to him.
Oh, okay.
No, well, I'm not
Well-
going to tell you. Never mind.
I think that's right.
We can
I
watch
know
them.
George told me.
Yeah, when we show it to them,
Only
we can
look,
watch
no
them,
take.
see if they have a
Oh.
reaction. And if they're like, ooh, shiny, that's probably not a guy.
Okay, so you head over to Danavar's house. It's a pretty simple establishment, 2 stories. It is not busy when you walk in. There actually are no other patrons. And behind the bar, keeping bar, cleaning off some dishes in the bar itself, is a half orc, and his left eye is scarred and blind.
Hey there.
He looks up from what he's doing at you and he grunts. He says,
Miller, do the thing. We're not allowed to ask questions, so this is going to be a very difficult conversation.
"What do you
I'll
need?
walk
You
up.
need a drink? Need a room?"
I'll walk up to the bar and put the badge onto the counter.
He'll look at it. He'll look at you. He'll go to take it.
She'll let him.
He takes it. Says, "Have a seat."
Yes, sir.
He puts out a few very nice wine glasses. One in front of each of you. I'm assuming you all have a seat.
Yep.
Yes.
Yes.
He takes a bottle of... Oh, sorry. He uncorks a flask. And he says, "This is Silvery Moon's finest elven wine." And he pours it into each of your glasses.
Oh, that's not bad. Better than the piss water we had to drink on the boat.
Oh, did you drink it?
Yeah.
You didn't say any of that. He's gone.
Oh,
Cole's gone. He takes a sip of the wine and the cup clatters to the floor and he's no longer at the bar.
Well, it must have been good, and Blue will drink it.
well, time for a new character, because Cole's dead.
Cole's dead. I punch the orc in the face.
I'll hold ball back.
Blue's also gone.
No, I'm not gonna punch him in the face. I'll say, oh god, I've done worse. No.
Okay.
Before,
Larry, you're the last
TPK.
one in this bar.
before drinking, I'll just quickly divine sense.
Yep, you get nothing. As you're doing that, he
And I
says,
drink it.
"Oh, okay." He's about to start saying something, and then you see him like open his mouth as you're like looking around the room, and then before he can get any words out, you drink the wine, and you find yourself in a rather austere parlor, kind of like Victorian style couches, and you find yourself seated on a particularly long white upholstered couch. It's a very fancy setting. Like there's a porcelain platter with a few teacups seated about. There's a hot brew as well. There are tons of flying cats that are kind of like walking about, jumping up on top of armoires. One is like sitting in a windowsill. The other one's scratching a cat post.
Wow.
Hello,
Cats
cat.
aren't meant to fly, are they?
They're angels. I think we're dead.
We've died. That's a rip.
I
Yep.
don't think they're angels.
And these little cats are of various colors: tabby, black, white, spotted. They've got these like sizable wings on them.
I'm happy Ava's in here. She'd be barking, but that's
Wait, where
okay.
the hell's Verdana?
Yep, she
Oh
is
god,
also
we've
not
left
here.
her.
You left her to watch the stuff.
Oh, we've left her with the stuff again. Oh, we're gonna get robbed.
No, we're not. She's
Ava
a
will
very
protect her.
reliable and good ally.
And I reckon old Todd knows his way around a bite or two.
Who are you talking about?
The mule she has.
Oh, I forgot we have 2 mules now. Yeah.
We'll have to rename her mule.
Why? What's wrong with Todd?
It's too normal.
We've got a mule called Boris.
Johnson, yeah.
Oh god, no. I don't know why, but every time I hear somebody call him the full name, it makes me wince. For
Is
an
there
undetermined reason.
anyone? Is there anyone around like this parlor, or is it just the flying cats?
At the moment, it's just the flying cats.
Can we get up, do you think? And Cole's gonna try to stand up from the chair?
Yeah, you get up.
Oh. Alright, so we're not bound there, so shall we go have a look-see?
I'll have a
Maybe we
rummage
should
through all
wait.
the drawers.
No.
You open a drawer.
Yeah, why not?
There's a cat
No.
inside.
I'm going to look for a door.
So
A
like
cat.
opposite the side of the window, there is a wall, but it's curved, and there's like you can see there's a hallway that goes on either side.
Okay.
The floor seems to be actually the structure on the inside it seems to be made of marble.
Alright, so there's 2 hallways here. Okay.
It's really
guys.
more like one hallway, and the room is in the middle of it.
Got you. There's a hallway here we might need to explore. Doesn't seem to be anybody around here bar the
Oh
angels.
no, that won't be necessary. Have a seat. Have a seat. I can drink some tea. Fine.
It's not gonna make us teleport to a random location, is it?
Oh no. And coming out of the hall is a, I wouldn't say elderly, but he's pretty old in years, maybe in his late 50s, early 60s. Is this dark brown skinned Tarami human. Tarami is just a region of Faerun. He has long faded curls, and he's wearing this kind of like beige robe that has like patchwork pictures on it. And he has this bronze staff that seems to be topped with a small furnace that lets out a gout of fire every time he takes a step. From what you can see on his arms and neck, there are arcane sigils tattooed on his flesh. Please have some tea. And he waves his hand, and a small sigil appears, and a spectral hand appears at the tea kettle and pours a few glasses. And when he gets done pouring it, he has a seat in this rather nice leather chair, puts his feet up, and the hand brings him a cup of tea.
Melira will take a cup of tea.
I don't think I've tried tea before. I guess I'll try some.
I think you'll find this very nice, young lady. These are specially brewed from the fungus of the Underdark. You're probably well acquainted with this one.
Is my tea also made from Underdark fungus?
The entire pot.
Yeah, she'll take a
mean,
sip.
a bit different to usual tea I drink, but we'll give it a go.
It's very earthy. Very thick. It's kind
It's
of
just
more of
mud in
a...
a cup.
Well, no, it's not mud. It's more of a... It's almost like a hot smoothie.
I'd be down for that, yeah.
I'll put some salt from the big bag of salt on
Yeah,
my tea.
that probably actually does help. The man says, would you mind, actually? And the hand kind of floats over to the salt.
Sure, I'll add the bag of salt.
And the spectral hand takes like a pinch of salt and then comes back and sprinkles it in. And
I'll
then
take a pinch of salt, sure.
It's sugared as much as you want.
The spectral hand takes a finger and dips it into the cup and then swirls it around.
Is it the middle finger?
No, it's the pointer finger.
Like that.
He's aware that's salt, right?
Yes. You don't sweeten mushrooms. You try to give them a little bit of spice. This will be nice.
Oh, okay. A little spice from salt. Okay. I'm starting to feel the
Well,
vibe in this room.
No, salt
Now-
is a spice, young man. And variety is the spice of life.
I see. I feel
are
like
we
I could
allowed to
learn much
ask?
from you.
Are we allowed to ask questions now? Because when we talked to our friend, she said, "Don't ask any questions," and I'm a bit confused.
Of course. Of course you can ask questions. Drow just doesn't like
Okay.
talking to people very much.
That's the orc, I assume.
Yes.
Right.
That's
You must
fair
have
enough.
many questions. I am Crowan Val Harrow, and this is my tower. Well,
I have one.
this is our tower, but I'm the one who maintains it.
The Harpers, right?
Yes, I am the High Harper of Everland.
I have one important question, and it's possibly the most important question we're going to ask today. Are you aware that your stick is breathing fire?
He looks at you. He looks at the staff. He looks at all of you and says, "Oh boy, that one's about as dumb as a bag of doornails."
All right, in my defense, real quick, I learned about your kooky wand waving shenanigans like a few weeks ago.
He's relatively new to the whole arcane. Don't give him too much grief.
My
I'm
friend,
not
this is a
overly
world of magic. How could you possibly be so ignorant?
I was on a boat for most of my life, and there were no people who did crazy crap like that.
You didn't
And
carry
before
a
that-
priest about you to pray for safe journeys?
No,
It's
no,
a miracle that your ship survived.
and it survived for some time, few decades.
Hmm.
Then it was destroyed by frost giants off the coast of Luskin, and all my friends died. But past that, we move.
It's okay. Intelligence isn't the be all end all.
I was a captain.
I'm not very intelligent. It's okay.
Well, you can cry over your teen a little bit.
I'm not going to be writing no thesis
Cool.
on the social disparities between the races of Faerun, sure, but I'm not stupid.
What's wrong with being stupid?
I can't help but feel like I'm being bullied in the nicest possible way here.
Well, anyway,
So what brings you to my tower? Hmm?
Oh, there's some nonsense going on around the Sword Coast, and Danathar wanted us to tell you about it.
Xanathar? What does he have to
No,
do
not
with all this?
Xanathar. Danathar. Darathra.
That's
Darathra.
Trouble out of Tribor, then.
Well,
What
technically, it's trouble everywhere. You see,
I'm well aware of the giant.
yeah, but they seem to be digging up this metal thing, and it looked like a finger this time. And Bulwark and Blue were telling us apparently there was more fire giants digging up in the Dales, probably for a similar reason, I'd imagine.
Yes,
What was it made out of? Adamantine.
All of this unrest seems to pose a grave threat to the balance of power.
You you don't happen to know what that adamantine thing is, do you?
I do not. I imagine you're the adventuring type to have come this far. Seek out the answers yourself, yes?
Allegedly the adventuring type. I just lost my boat and got stuck with two people who were utterly insane.
On that question, we're not too aware of the giant's location. We're not sure if we've overshot them or undershot them. Is there stories of them heading further north?
I didn't hear your question, Lord.
Are there stories of them heading further north?
Before that, I don't know who them is. I didn't hear you beforehand.
The fire giants. We don't know if we've overshot them or undershot them, but we know they were heading in a northward direction, basically from Tribor to Everland.
Oh,
is there stories of them?
If they've
coming
traveled,
down from the north, or
no, if they've come from Tribor and they're not taking the road, which I imagine they're not, they've probably traveled through the Evermoors.
Yeah, that sounded about right. But we were wondering if you could help us kind of narrow down where we have to go. You know, currently, we've just been walking around and trying to save people from them when and where we were there. When we were there, it's not really efficient.
Narrow down, no. Help you be more efficient, yes. You see, I have it on good authority that there are many factions at work to protect the North from this menace. Of course, the Harpers are doing what we do, but the Lord's Alliance, the Emerald Enclave, the Order of the Gauntlet, and even the Zentarim are working to protect certain interests from giant depredation. I do have a few things that I think would in your journey. Tell me, what do you know of giants and their relationship to dragons?
What?
they don't like each other very much.
He's making it
Go ahead,
he's
Joe.
making it very much a point to not look at Cole when he's asking these questions.
Cole isn't dumb.
You've presented yourself to be dumb in front of this man.
He just doesn't know arcane stuff.
Would this be familiar? Would this be like a history or nature check?
It would be a history check.
You know what? I'm gonna make a history
20.
check too. Yeah, that tracks.
So Malira, you would recall in trying to think of how to link this to you specifically. In the Vault of Records in Menzo Baranzan, there are tales of the great wars that happened before man came to Faerun. And there was a massive war between the dragons and the giants. They are arch nemesis. They are like dwarves and dwarves. They are each other's worst foes. It doesn't really get more clear cut than that.
Like dwarves and everything that breathes.
Well, I know that they are pretty much mortal enemies. They've been at war for before even, I guess, small folk, the giants, would be wandering around.
Yes, exactly. Stand to benefit the most. Suddenly, the giants were in chaos.
Dragons, then, right?
Yes, at least that's my hypothesis. Either directly or indirectly, I think that there are dragons pulling the strings here.
It's not that kooky cult that were running around a while back, is it? They're not back.
Oh, I don't know. Cult of the returned. The, let's just say the cult weren't too pleased when Tia and didn't quite get what they were expecting.
Fair enough.
Me and Blue would have some information on the Cult of the Dragon's relation to the situation, and I think it is quite contradictory. Are you familiar with the cloud giant Zephyrus in his floating castle?
I have no knowledge of this.
Well, he was the one who initially started us on this quest, and he was, while we were with him, an envoy was sent from the Cult of the Dragon, and they seek to make peace with him and to work with him.
Most
So,
curious.
unless they are playing both sides of the war, I'm not sure.
Which
but
would
you
mean
are
either
aware of the destruction of the giant.
the ordering.
You are aware of the destruction of the giant pantheon, though, right? Yes.
He You say that he casts a spell, and it doesn't appear that anything has happened, but suddenly a book and quill rides up into the air as if someone has picked it up and begins taking notes. He says, "The ordning should be more elaborate on this."
So, from what we can
And I
tell,
will just parrot what. Go ahead.
I mean, no, if we want to just do it as, Bulwark parrots what Thingy told him, because what Cole knows is, kind of more stunted than Bulwark's. So if we just want to play it like that, that
Well,
works.
already a few of you have said things that your character remembers that were not exactly what was said. So specifically, what do you tell him?
All right. So the ordering.
Well, Cole, you weren't there. So
I wasn't there when Zephyr, what's it said, told us, but we have talked about it a lot
Okay,
since.
yeah,
So
so-
Cole knows bits and
sure.
pieces.
I think Blue was sort of interjecting since he was the first to actually know about this. He knew before even Zephyros told us.
Yep. Please tell us.
I'm just trying to find the exact information I was given as part of my background.
Oh, that's way back there.
Yeah, I had it written down. Actually, I should be able to find it.
Well, Bulwark, you were about to say something. So what do you say?
He's
not here.
disappeared into the ether.
I see. I see.
So I suppose Cole can kind of. Oh no, never mind. Bulwark's back. Joe, stop it!
Okay, I'm back. Sorry, I had to organize something.
Okay.
Bulwark, you want to take the reins here for the
What
ordering
did I miss?
conversation?
No, Blue does. Where
Yeah,
is
Blue
it?
can take the reins.
I'm just scrolling up like 50 pages through Tony and I's conversation.
You know you can just like filter it on the Discord.
I can search. Let me search ordning. There we go. Jump.
Jesus.
Okay. So Blue will explain. Well, I think he'll sort of ask. I assume you know what the ordning is.
Of course, yes. The innate drive that provides structure, religious caste for you and your kin.
Yeah. So I felt this one day while I was just meditating, but we were later told by Zephyros, the cloud giant we've been speaking about. We're not sure exactly what's happened, but there was a disturbance in this order, and it seems to have that innate feeling of that system
There
isn't
was something
there
about
anymore.
an All-Father.
Yes, well, Zephyros, I think, if I remember correctly, he said he believed that the All-Father had abandoned them to a certain extent, but we don't really know what's caused it.
Most curious.
But I
So,
would assume
I don't.
that's why all the giants have been fighting.
Trying to make themselves top dog almost.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I don't think that the cult of the dragon has started this. I think that they could be taking advantage of it, or even not wanting it because the giants are becoming much more ambitious than they were. It's easier to deal with a sedated and content population. So
The issue with that
I
is
doubt it's their doing.
either like you said, the dragons are pulling the strings, which would mean that the cult of the dragon and the dragons are in disagreement if they were seeking help from the giants, or the dragons have nothing to do with this and are just as worried as everybody else. And I don't know what. And personally, I don't want to meet what would worry a dragon.
Yeah.
Most in. So is it your intent then to go about on a quest, one might say, to solve this riddle, stop the attacks?
It seems like none of us have really had a choice.
You always have a choice. You could today decide, you know what, Everland is a good place to settle down.
It is.
Start a home, a business.
I was just discussing about that. It's so nice here.
Where would the
well.
fun be in that?
I promised these guys I'd stick with them to see this through, and as much as I would like to, maybe slow down for a little while, I think we have to finish what we started before before I can allow myself to do that.
Well, so far, two of the cities we've traveled to have been attacked while we were there, and we've sort of been thrust into its defense. But it sounds like this problem is causing a lot of chaos and pain in these lands. So, of course, I would want to help.
And like I said, my services are given to Bulwark and Blue until such time they don't need me anymore. So the choice is moot, really, isn't it?
We're not slaves, as we promised.
We can't just let innocent people die, I suppose.
Well, be it then. I think I have a few things that can help you on this journey that you will find yourselves to be on.
Is one of them a sword?
No.
Damn.
What do I look like, a smith?
You look. You have a fiery stick. You might have some cool things lying around.
He puts his teacup down, and the hand takes the little plate that it's on away, and he takes out a necklace that he's wearing that's like this really tiny chest, and he casts a spell, and a much larger chest appears on the floor at his feet, and he has the hand come back over and open the chest, and then the hand dives in, and you hear it like digging around, and it pulls out a small box, and then a second hand appears and closes the chest, and then he finishes saying some arcane words, and the chest poofs out of existence, and the hand holding the second hand disappears, and the hand holding the smaller box floats towards you.
It's me, okay. I guess I'll hold my hands out and
And it will. I say it's a small box, but it's probably the size of a bread box. It's a little chest, and the small hand opens it up, and inside are 6 compartments, each with 6 tightly wrapped pieces of paper. And he says, "In that box, you will find 6 spell scrolls that will help you, I think. One will dispel magic. Another will allow you to fly. The third will grant you the ability to make a singular weapon magical for a short amount of time. The fourth will allow you to send a message to someone, no matter where they are. The fifth will allow you to allow you to speak and understand any language spoken around you. And the last will allow you and those around you to breathe water."
Okay. Thank you very much.
So essentially, scrolls of dispel magic, fly, magic weapon, sending tongues, and water breathing.
Yeah. I'm trying to find other. Spell magic.
And he says, "And these will come in handy in time, but I think the other thing that I have for you will be of a bit more immediate use." And he gets up from his chair and takes his staff and begins to walk away. He says, "Come, come, follow me."
Okay. Blue will get up and follow.
Yeah, well, Mary will get up and fall after them.
Yeah, Cold Gold too. Probably like wide-eyed staring at all the crazy shit that's in this tower.
He leads you up one flight of stairs, and you are on the very top of the tower. There are no crenellations, although there are 4 spires kind of on the outskirts, the outer edges of the tower. And looking out below you is the city of Everland. And on the roof of this tower where you are standing is a large arcane circle. And seated near the center is a younger man in robes with glasses. He appears to have a small table next to him with a big, thick ledger. And I don't remember if I said this or not, but there is a circular arcane rune on the roof of the tower. And he says, "Do any of you know teleportation magic?"
No.
What on earth is that?
Well,
No.
ignoring the question of the obvious,
I've never come across the word telepatapaton.
he turns to you, Cole, very brusquely and says, "You go from point 1 to point 2 the same time."
Without traveling in between, that's insane!
Yes. And then he rolls
You
his
people
eyes.
are capable of this?
And then he rolls his eyes. And he goes over to the big ledger and he says, "Morning, Nespril." "Morning, Mr. Valhero." And he opens the ledger to the very back and he tears out a piece of paper and he walks over to Bulwark because Bulwark looks the most responsible.
Little does he know.
I swear to God, there was a thing for this. Where did it go? Here's the. Did I archive it already? Maybe I archived it. Hang on one second.
Did we just unlock fast travel?
Well, apparently I did not archive it, so I don't know where it went. I'll post it in the Discord. It's not important. Oh, wait. Well, there's one of the maps. The one I need. Rolled 20. Why do you not have all the maps from the book in here? That's kind of annoying, man. Anyway, I'll post it in the Discord. He hands you a sheet of paper, Bulwark, and it looks like gibberish. There are 6 circles, right? And they've all got these weird, fancy, intricate runes, kind of like a kaleidoscope. Each one is different, and they're all connected to each other with these weird pathways.
Oh, I get it.
And he says, "This is our teleportation network. You can be in one of these cities, instantly travel to the next as long as one of our mages is there with you. Because you don't have the ability to do this stuff, apparently."
Thank you.
With this network, you will, of course, be able to travel to Everland, to Loudwater, Mirabar, Neverwinter, Waterdeep, and Yartar.
Oh, we need to go to so many of those places. How do we come back here? Like, because we have to go to... No, not with the teleportation thing. We need to stop off at Citadel Felbar. And then obviously we need to go to a lot of these places. So is there a way we could get back to here to do this afterwards?
You come to the tower and you knock on the door and you say, "We're here for the teleportation." No, don't do that. That's dumb. You don't tell anyone about this. Do you understand? And he gets very angry at you, Cole.
I didn't say I was going to. I'm sorry.
Cole, I think you just need to just shh for a little bit.
I'm trying to get us
and
information about getting back here.
I will explain it all to you later.
I understand the basics. They go from point A to point B, right? So this map clearly details the various circles that are interconnected. So these are the various points they can select on the map from each teleportation circle, and you can go in between them. I'm not stupid. I just don't get magic.
Fair enough. Well, I don't really understand your question though, Cole. If we want to come back here, we can either go to one of the cities with the circle or we can walk in the front gate.
Yeah, what the question was, because obviously we had to drink that special wine to get in here. Right?
No, you walk up to the door and you say you need to speak.
Oh, yeah, the tower in... Okay, so we don't have to go through the wine thing every time. That was the question, because obviously Felbar is not too far from here.
I mean, you
and there's
could
not
go
a
through the
circle
wine
there.
thing every time if you want to.
The
I
wine
mean, it
was
was a
kind
lot of fun.
Yeah, that does sound fun. Why not?
But, yeah, because Felbar is not too far from here, so I didn't want to, cut off our access to all this transportation network by doing what we need to do in Felbar, which is why I asked.
Or,
Okay.
uh,
Well,
first of
thank
all,
you.
thank you. Oh, yeah, go ahead, Ollie.
Blue's just saying thank you.
Don't thank me. Ones who go out and study all this business.
Is there anything of note that you want us to pay attention to? Any information you want back as a token
Whatever
of our
you
thanks?
find you should relay to me, that sending spell. I'm not saying you have to use it for, but if you find something particularly.
Nice.
Do not let this map fall into the hands of anyone who is not a Harper. Do I make myself clear?
We have a bag that keeps all of our shit safe.
For the love of God, do not put that paper in that bag.
Oh, is it? Oh.
Why?
Very dangerous magical things will happen. And he kind of waves his hands.
Is he fucking with me?
Make an insight check.
Oh, I'm bad at that. What kind of terrible things? Will we all die?
Blue, you're pretty sure that something bad would happen if you put this piece of paper in the bag of holding. Malira, he's totally fucking with them.
Yeah, she'll just quietly nod.
Blue will all die!
Yes.
Well,
We shouldn't mess with these magics.
okay. Thank you.
But no, seriously, do not let anyone have
Would you know if there are
this.
any displaced beasts nearby?
Kind of cocks his head at you. No?
Know anyone who would know where they might be? A hunter or something?
To explain, we've been hit hard by some giants in the past, so we've been trying to think about what magical items our artificer here might be able to make.
I could perhaps sell you a schematic for such a cloak, but I would not know other than sending you to the Feywild, where
I
you
mean,
would find such a displaced beast.
that sounds like an insane place to be, and I think we should go there.
Maybe at some point.
How much for the schematic?
It would take some time for me to copy down. I would not sell you my own personal schematic.
Fair enough.
It would probably take me 10 days worth of work, and my time is very valuable, I would say. For your friend, 1,000 gold.
Well, if I find the right levers, I will come right back here and beckon for your
We might as well
services.
get the schematic made now, right? That way that when you get the stuff, you can make it instantly.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Sure.
I mean, because we're going to Felbar, so by the time we go there and get back, 10 days will easily have passed.
Yeah.
Well, we have this teleportation network now. We don't have to go straight to Falbar. We can go to Waterdeep, do what we wanted to do there, and then teleport back and head on.
Yeah,
foot.
but we may as well get Felbar out the way, then go to here and go to Waterdeep after that.
We have
It
a
would make more sense.
teleportation circle. We can go back and forth.
Teleportation circle doesn't go to Felbar, and we're in the area anyway. So I feel like that's just bad route planning. We've done it before. It ended out badly, right?
It would take you 11 days to get to Felbar if nothing happens to you along the way.
Yes. And we can teleport back and forth in seconds between Waterdeep and all these other different places. So we have business in Waterdeep we can take care of instantly.
Sorry, it would
I
take you
feel
12
like-
days.
I feel
Yeah,
like
I think Ollie is right in this situation because we've got stuff to get done in Waterdeep. We can just go to Waterdeep, get it done, and come back.
But I really want to delay the journey
would
to Waterdeep as
actually-
much as possible.
You would actually be able to cut off 3 days if you traveled through an unroaded or untrailed area.
We have Vordana. She's very clever. She could guide us.
If you head towards Jalanthar and then went through the mountain pass there.
I just feel like whilst we're in the area,
That would
it would be
only
best to get Felbar out the way so we don't have to go there again later. And in the time we go there and come back, Bulwark will get a schematic. Then we can use the teleportation circles to the biggest effect by teleporting between every area we need to go without having to take a break for an 8-day trip. Whilst we're up here, we may as well make the little walk around.
It makes 0 difference because of the teleportation circles. How we do it.
Well, the other thing is that the fire giants are more likely to be up north first, so we may as well go to Waterdeep, get what benefits we can from that trouble, maybe buy something, and then go to Felbar, because there's not going to be much danger in going to Waterdeep. There's going to be more danger in going to Felbar.
So we'd go from where we are right now to Waterdeep, deal with that stuff there, then
You're
come
having to
back
shout
here.
all of this because on the roof of this tower, the wind is very loud.
So we'd have to go to Waterdeep, do what we gotta do, then come back here, even though we're already here now, and then do the trip.
Yes, and it would all take place almost instantaneously.
This is like my favorite part of the module because this is where every party like starts arguing about where they're gonna go now that they have a teleportation circle.
I just feel like whilst we're here, we might as well get it out of the way.
Don't you understand? It makes 0 difference. We have instant travel.
It's inefficient.
Yeah, we can. No, it's
not
not.
inefficient. It's this
You
exact
have
same.
to remember where Cole's coming from here.
Well, anyway, it's a democracy, and the horses get to vote as well. I'm pretty sure they'll vote with blue.
Yeah, I win. Sorry.
Won't vote shit all when I cut the goddamn heads off.
I'm gonna put a purple dot on the areas where there's a teleport.
That would be helpful.
Okay.
I think.
Yeah, I was just going to write down the town names, city names.
Purple.
Yata. That's the place that got attacked by the Nautiloid.
Yeah, that's the thing that had the tentacle demon from hell. Oh, we should probably tell him about that.
Probably. Maybe he already knows.
Oh, by the way, Guy, you were talking about dragons earlier. Well, something weird happened over Yartar.
Yes, I've heard about the Nautiloid.
Oh, they've already told you. Okay, great. Did they tell you about the 3, I think they were red dragons chasing it?
Yes, and the Gith riding them.
We didn't hear about that. We didn't see that part.
It's safe to assume if there are mind flayers and red dragons, there are Gith.
Oh, are they? Oh, yeah. Do they hate each other or something?
Yes, the Gith Yankee players enslaved the Gith.
Okay. Right then, I suppose we're going to Waterdeep. Yay. Can't wait for that one. I'm not going to get stabbed by about
It's
6
okay.
different captains.
Just
You'll be fine.
stick close to us.
Any chance somebody's got a shawl I can wear?
If you want, I can do a little disguise for your face.
Nah, I feel like we'll get more comedic relief if we don't do that.
I think we were planning on heading to Waterdeep and coming back. Would that be okay?
It makes no difference to me, although I know that the mages who
Preside.
guard is not quite accurate.
Our station there?
Administer?
Yes, our station. Who are stationed at these circles have limited magical capabilities for the purpose of casting. Also, you may only be able to travel from a particular place once or twice.
Okay.
Oh, that's fine.
I did want to. You seem a very knowledgeable and wise wizard. Would I be able to talk to you privately about something?
Make a persuasion.
Oh, it's about his girlfriend again.
I am sorry, but I am a very busy man. You have taken up quite a bit of my time today.
What if we told you it might be about a crazy demon-possessed glaive?
I'm sure you'll.
Okay, well, maybe when you're next free, when we pass through, I can talk to you for a minute.
Ta-ta! And then he starts to walk down the tower.
I kind of love that guy.
He's pretty nice. What did he call you again? And I'll talk to the mage that's stationed here.
I am Nespril Menk. I have the honor of attending to this.
Can I insight check what he just said? Because I have a feeling he doesn't see it as an honor, and I don't know where I'm getting that from.
Sure.
Yeah, that tracks.
So he does seem a bit brusque, but he seems attentive and has a ledger open as you approach him and seems ready to do what he needs to do. Says, I will need your names.
Blue.
He writes it down.
Oh.
He doesn't question it at all.
John Jacobs, 4th Regiment of Waterdeep Military.
Make a deception check.
10!
Sir, I take my job quite seriously.
Coal cellar and
And you go on about telling him.
Walk.
My name's Malira.
Very well. Keep your hands and feet in the circle at all times. The Harpers are not responsible for any loss of limb. And he starts to cast a spell. And you think it's going to happen instantly, but it takes about a minute. Oh.
Is it working?
You start to ask that question, and then the runes on the floor begin to light up, and there's a flash of light, and you feel your stomach come up through your throat, and you're scared for a minute that it's going to come out of your mouth, and your vision goes white. And
Horses.
That is exactly what I wanted
you
to
go
happen.
to scream out horses, and nothing. The wind escapes your lungs, but there's no sound, and you are slammed into place. In a pitch black place lit by candles. There is a young girl who has an amulet around her neck. It has a piece of jade in the center of it, and it's a circular stone amulet. She is reading a book, and when you notice where you are, she slams it shut and like puts it in a pack at her side and pulls out a big thick ledger.
I
And,
can't help but feel like that's bad for the shins.
and she says, "Names, please."
Blue.
Bulwark.
And you go through the rigmarole of having her write down your names.
Damn it, I was going to come up with another stupid identity.
She would have called your bluff unless you rolled particularly high. And she walks you up some stone stairs, and there is this massive metal creature who is like pushing against a lid at the top of the stairs. And she says, "Myrna." And the massive metal creature lifts the lid open and says to you, "All right, there you go."
Okay, bye.
Cool. We'll knock on when we need to come back, I suppose.
Mm-hmm.
And you walk up the rest of the stairs, and you find yourself in a massive cemetery. Well, actually, first thing is that you are in like a mausoleum for this single area, and the stone door in the floor of this mausoleum closes as you exit, And as you exit, little stone building, there is the name Myrna on the top of it. And you find yourself in a massive cemetery. There are a few people walking about. You see like couples with umbrellas and picnic baskets. The weather is nice. The smell of the sea salt in the air is refreshing. Weather is warm and pleasant. Well, I won't say warm. It's warmer than it was in Everland.
Ah, dear. Let's just get this out of the way, and hope that everybody has forgotten my face.
I'm sure it'll be fine. We need to find 2 people.
Are in Waterdeep now.
Zelron Roaring Hon and Minerva Coldwater.
Yes, and never. Her I know.
There is not a map of Waterdeep. Give me a moment while I pull up Waterdeep.
Yeah, no worries. Yeah, and never, I definitely know.
Although, we don't really need to see Minerva. I mean, we can still go and say hello from her aunt, but she offered us a free trip along the coast. But I don't really think,
I'd love
think
to be
there's
on the
any-
ocean again.
Yes, but there's nowhere we really need to go on the coast. We spent a
Let's
long
go
time
meet her
on
for
the
fun
coast.
anyway.
Yeah. we
Oh,
could
the
do
map
that.
of Waterdeep is too big for. It's just barely too big for Roll20. That's unfortunate.
Mm.
I'll put it in the Discord. Oh no, it's too big for that too.
But yeah, I think we should focus on finding Zelron first, because from what we've been told, he sponsors adventurers, so he might be able to help us.
We can have a quick drop by the markets to see if there's anything we want to have a look at.
Yeah. I don't think I've been to Waterdeep before, so this seems
Ah,
interesting.
lovely place. Aye, lovely place. I started avoiding it after I started stealing from them more, but there's always somebody selling something that could be quite fun.
So currently, guys are in the City of the Dead district ward. While
Could
it
you post the map
is,
to Discord?
I'm sorry,
Could you post the map to Discord?
I can't because it's too big for Discord. Discord will only let me do
Oh.
8 megabytes, and it's like 11.5 megabytes. Like it's a massive image.
I've got a lower quality one there.
Okay, if
It's-
you can, and then
the
if you want,
entire place.
if you want to go on to D&D Beyond and go into the Waterdeep Dragon Heist module and just look at the player
Yeah.
map of Waterdeep. Don't look at the regular map because we might play this at some time.
True.
You guys TPK in Storm King's Thunder at some point. Knock on wood.
Waterdeep Dragon Heist.
Should be in the bottom right corner.
Player version, yeah.
Yeah, it's a massive map. It's not even just Waterdeep itself. It even details some of the stuff that's outside of Waterdeep, which I think is really cool.
Yeah, so I'm trying to find.
So
The
right
dead?
hand side, next to the castle ward.
City of the Dead. Okay,
Yep.
gotcha. Alright. Well, maybe we should ask around and see if anyone knows who this or where this Zelrin Roaring Horn is.
Aye, definitely getting both everybody's details so we can just get it over with quickly would be a good move. There's some inns in Waterdeep, I think, so that's probably the best place to ask around.
Okay.
Always people having a drink.
Well, let's go into the castle ward and see if we can find a tavern or something.
2 seconds, guys. I do not have Waterdeep prepared today. I knew that this was a possibility, but I was pretty sure you guys were going to go to Felbar first.
I tried.
It's all good. I didn't really prepare
If you
Felbar
want.
either because I figured you guys would stop in Silvery Moon first, and I had lots of stuff there. But it's okay. That's the way this game works sometimes.
If you want, we can
Done,
redirect our
Ollie.
journey.
Nah, it's all good. You're already here.
Hello, want to go back? Knock, knock, knock.
I say we blame Ollie and his efficient trip planning.
Well, thank you. I don't want to be left out of the blame game.
You're right. We should ultimately blame the horses.
We've now left alone with Vordana.
That's okay.
Oh God, we can't keep paying her.
And
She's gonna rob us.
You did not pay her in advance, so she will probably leave.
Well, we'll be back within the day.
Who knows? Okay. So, you're in the City of the Dead. It is a large park. There are hills full of grass. The flower beds are tended. There are clusters of trees and bushes that almost seem artfully placed. Beautiful sculptures and water fountains. The architecture of the mausoleums themselves are astounding. And the gravel paths that wind through it are a joy in themselves. Walk through. Getting to okay, let me ask you this: are you guys just gonna walk around, or are you going to hire a carriage? It'd be like hailing a taxi.
It's quite a big place, to be fair.
We don't really know where we're going, so probably just walk around.
Yeah, but if we get a carriage, we can ask him to take us to the nearest or the best tavern.
That's
Yeah,
true.
sure, why not? Let's just go with carriage.
Okay, from the City of the Dead. Now you just say the best tavern.
Either the nearest or the best. It depends on what everybody
The
else wants to go to.
nearest.
The nearest tavern.
Oh, well, we'll ask if they know. Do you know who Zelrin Roaringhorn is?
Roll a d20.
Okay.
Nah, mate. I'm just a carriage driver.
Okay, nearest inn or tavern, please.
Nearest inn looks like it's going to be great. About the great. Find out together.
The Hawkman's pretty close too.
Yeah,
Depends
but
on where we are in the City of the Dead.
I think you're probably closer to that northern. Oh, the Great Drunkard is a statue.
Oh.
Never mind.
He just brings us to a statue.
Nope.
Oh, these are all just statues. Okay.
He says, it might not be the closest, but if you want a tavern, you want the Yawning Port.
Okay.
Well, that's a funky name.
Now it is a little bit of a drive, but walking there would take you the better part of a day. 3 gold to get you there.
Okay. For what?
Oh, we
Pay
can
the
cover
man
that
3
pretty
gold.
easily.
I'm back. What's up?
3 gold for our trip to the Yawning Portal.
Is this like for the day or just for the trip there?
Just for the trip.
Yeah, heck it. Why not?
So a walk that would have taken you the better part of the day takes you maybe 30 minutes in this carriage. And indeed, there is a very large tavern. It is 3 stories tall. It's very wide. And outside there is a sign on the lintel of the door that proclaims that this is the Yawning Portal. And there's a very what's the word? Stylized YP insignia on the door.
Is this in the dock ward?
No, this is in the castle ward.
Castle ward. Okay.
Alrighty.
Thank you.
You're very
Alright,
welcome.
thanks.
Give him a tip or
I'll give him an 87 copper piece tip.
Much
You're a
obliged.
You're a bad
sir.
person.
And kind of the gist you would get of the castle ward as you drove through it is that it's mostly like not residential. There's courts and government buildings and businesses. barracks every once in a while. It's like a kind of like downtown. Whenever you're in a downtown somewhere and it's mostly like official stuff, guild halls and things of that nature. Get to the castle where you would have had to have driven through. Actually, no, that you would have just gone straight from the city that into the castle ward. Yep. So entering into the yawning portal, it is a very busy place. There are several wait staff running about. There's almost not even a free table to sit at. What there is, however, is a large portal. Not portal. There's a large well in the center of the tavern that is, I think, about 20 or 30 feet in diameter. There is a little ledge that you can walk off, and it seems either jump in or throw things down this hole. And on the roof, there is a pulley with a rope that also goes down the hole.
It's an interesting centerpiece. We should talk to the barkeep.
Is that what you do?
Yes.
There are plenty of figures in this bar, and you could pretty much pick up anyone. But going to the bar directly is a middle-aged man with a rather stern expression, large greatsword at his back on the wall behind him. Fabulous facial hair. He says, welcome to the Yawning Portal. My name's Dernan. This is my bar. Don't make any trouble. Don't throw any bodies in the portal.
It's so beautiful. The beard. It's so beautiful.
I spent a lifetime cultivating. Gauge your compliment.
Portal, is that... Sorry.
My name is Dernan.
Hi, Dernan. Nice to meet you. A portal? Is that what this well is?
Yes. You jump down the hole, end up in a dungeon.
That sounds pretty fun.
Sometimes it's a random dungeon. Sometimes it's under mountain. Kind of waves his hand and says, magic. I don't understand it. I just...
Oh, me neither. It's baffling. But more importantly than that, is there a loot in these dungeons?
Yeah, that's what attracts people.
Like maybe a new shiny sword? And I'm just going to look at the party.
It's possible there could be swords. I don't rightly know. My adventuring days are done. I haven't jumped in the portal for some odd years.
Well,
is that...
I don't think we'll do that today. Maybe we can do some shopping and find you a sword. I'm sure we've got enough time and money to grab you a sword.
No, I don't want more sports swords. I want like special swords. I've got 2 great swords, a weird looking ass silver sword. I need...
How are you not over your weight?
Because Cole has 18 strength.
I wouldn't mind doing a dungeon at some point. It would be fun. As long as no one dies.
Aye, that would be...
What was that?
Who are we trying to find again, Blue? I forgot their name.
In these notes that you wrote, Bork, their name is Zelron Roaringhorn. Do you know
I did write that.
Hedron?
Dernan is my name, and
Dernan, sorry.
I'm not really in the habit of selling information, but I'm sure if you ask around, you'll find someone who...
That'd be great, thank you.
Okay, well, I guess we'll just ask people until... Well, were there guards anywhere? Surely a guard would know if this is a prominent person where they are living.
Well, you drove here in a carriage, so you wouldn't have really had time to ask a guard, but I'm sure you could go off and find one.
If he sponsors adventurers, maybe there's an adventurer that sponsored him. I'll just go around and ask people if they know.
Yeah. I'm going to go look around for the location of the other person we're looking for. Inbara, I believe the name was? Ilvara?
Inerva, Coldwater.
Inerva. That's all. I should really look at the notes more, but yeah, Endeavor. Whilst these guys look for the location of the guy we're going to first.
Both of you make either investigation checks or persuasion checks.
I'm going to enhance ability on myself.
I shall also enhance my ability by adding a D8.
Oh, I accidentally rolled in D&D Beyond and I got a 25.
Why did you roll twice?
Well, I've got a 28.
Because I have advantage. I
No,
enhance my
Bulwark
ability.
rolled twice.
Oh, I don't know. I don't know why I rolled twice.
Damn it, I only got a 12.
Okay, so Bulwark, you are asking around looking for Zelron Roaringhorn, and sure enough, there are a few adventurers who have been sponsored by him, and they tell you that he actually lives here in the Castle Ward, and he has a villa. Is it the Castle Ward, actually? Now I'm questioning that. Sorry, he lives in the North Ward in his own villa. They describe it as one of the grandest residences in Waterdeep.
The North Ward, so that's upwards, okay.
They'll tell you that that his estate is on the corner of Suldown Street and Nindabar Street.
Okay.
Yeah. Thank you.
Perfect, let's go.
As far as looking for Enerva Coldwater, Cole, you are unsuccessful. People are like, I don't know who that is. Haven't heard that name before.
Ah, damn it, where's she hiding?
And if you ever bring up that she is a captain of a ship, they probably tell you that you need to go and ask someone in the dock warden.
Yeah, I would probably do that, so okay, cool.
All right. So are you going to walk to the Roaring Horn Estate, or are you going to hire a carriage?
Let's get to another carriage.
Right.
Get another carriage.
Oh, this map looks different now than the last time I looked at it. I don't like this map. I've already lost the streets, y'all.
No, not the streets.
Yeah,
Okay,
what
I
deep
found it.
streets
Okay.
are annoying to keep
It's a
track
little
of.
bit more of a distance, so this time it would be 5 gold for the carriage. I'm probably getting these prices wrong. Don't yell at me, internet. I've never PM'd Waterdeep Dragon Heights before. Making it up as I go.
Sure.
It's fine, we have lots of
They
gold.
have so much money, it doesn't matter. I need to chip away at it somehow.
No, I need to buy a boat.
In 5 gold increments.
And sure enough, you do arrive at a rather lavish villa. It is gated off with steel gates. There are guards, and there is a long line to get in. And the people who are in this line are either dressed or being dressed very finely with masks, or one or two of them you see is being carried in a palanquin. There is loud and raucous music coming from inside the villa, which must be immensely loud because you see that there's a pathway through a very large garden to get to the main estate itself.
Is there a party or something?
The person in front of you, now that you're at the back of the line, says, well, of course, Lord Roaringhorn hosts the most famous parties in Waterdeep. Aren't you invited?
Oh god, do we need
In
nice
a way.
clothes? Let's get nice clothes.
Blue will cast disguise self and he will suddenly be dressed like very similarly to one of the people he can see.
Does disguise self change your clothing?
It can, yep.
Are you sure? Because I don't think it does.
You make yourself, including your clothes, armor,
Okay,
weapons, and
yep.
other belongings.
Awesome. Yep, you do. And the guy who you're speaking to says, fascinating.
I can tell you're loving using this voice.
I'm loving him using this voice.
Do you think we can try and skip
Do
the
Marvelous.
you do other tricks? Are you the entertainment for this event?
I'll
Dance
guiding
for
bolt
me,
him.
It's like hand that kills him instantly.
I'm sorry, what did you say, Blue?
I said I'll guiding bolt him. No,
Oh.
I'm kidding. I be kidding. Blue will just kind of laugh and say, I don't know how entertaining I could be.
Such a humble young performer.
Would you like a good berry?
What is a good berry?
I'll hold out a berry.
What is a good berry, my good fellow?
How trite. I will try this treat you have offered.
Oh no!
It's yummy.
But I am so full. How am I meant to enjoy the hors
How will I
d'oeuvres?
indulge in my food here? Oh,
Finally, someone who appreciates my good berries.
He watches the guy snaps his fingers, and a servant of his comes from somewhere. I don't know. He has a number of servants around him, and that servant is holding a bucket. And you watch as the guy, like another servant, puts a glove on and induces him to vomit into the bucket.
This is some capital shit.
most interesting, this treat you have offered. What do you call them?
Good berries.
What an interesting name. It was indeed a good berry.
I fucking love this guy. Can we adopt him?
God, no.
Just have him following around on the carriage, yelling, words of what's the word?
Condescension.
Eloquence.
No, just like thinking of something
Encouragement?
like, good show, jolly good show, my man.
Do we
Okay.
want to deal with him today? Do we want to come back tomorrow when there may not be a party?
Yeah,
No,
let's
I
go to
want
the
to go
party.
and see him
Come on.
because this could be fun.
Lord Roaringhorn throws a party every day.
Alright, let's do it.
At least for this week he will. His family from Cormier has come to town.
Alright, that sounds dangerous. Will we need fancy clothes? Bulwark.
Oh, I don't own any fancy clothes, and I don't think we have an invite unless our friend here would allow us to tag along.
We have a letter.
We do have a letter.
And he hosts them every day, so I don't know if he sends out invites every day.
Let's just go.
Fair enough. I'll buff my armor while we're in the line. I don't know.
You take off your armor?
I guess I kind of have to for going into this place.
And that's when
Cole's not taking
assassins
his
attack.
armor. Cole's just gonna keep on walking like he owns the place.
Boom. Dominate person. No, not dominate. What is it? Hold monster. Stab, stab, stab. Crit, crit, crit. Orc's dead.
Oh no!
Hold person.
Oh no, Cole is dead. Oh no!
No. So eventually the line thins out and you're able to approach the gates and you tell the guards that you have this letter and they would ask to take it to Lord Roaringhorn on your behalf.
Does Blue sense any that they're being dishonest?
You can make an insight check if you want. No, none.
Okay. Well, they're his guards. Okay.
So a few moments later, this rather young man comes out in fine regalia. He's wearing purple robes with a white trim. He has a very stylish hat. Trying to think of what it would be like. It's got a very wide brim, like so wide that it almost droops down on the side, and it has to be reinforced by something. The hat itself is white with a purple band around it. And it's got a number of multicolored feathers sticking out of the top of it. And he says, "Am I to understand that you are the acquaintances of Artis Kimber?" And he kind of does this fantastic hand flourish as he greets you.
Yes?
Well, we know that he. Okay,
Or
I'm
should I say,
confused.
based on this letter, his son, seems.
Yes.
Very well.
Yes.
Please come in. Enjoy yourselves. I have the finest wines imported from Arvandor.
No, that sounds like a treat.
I hope I didn't just say something. Give me one second. Actually, maybe not Arvandor. Hang on. I think that's the Elf Heaven.
Pretty sure it is.
Yep,
Yeah.
that is Elf Heaven.
I
He does
taken
not
them
say
from
that.
heaven
He
and
says,
put them into a bottle.
please come in. I've cracked a bottle of wine that was found in an ancient Netherese ruin that I am eager to try, and you've come so far, you should try a sip yourself.
The last time we sipped some wine, we were teleported.
Fascinating. This will only teleport you to the first plane of pleasure.
I prefer the third plane of pleasure myself, and I'm just gonna throw this guy a wink.
He kind of winces at you.
Now, Cole is an equal opportunity whore.
Tony is not an Eero RP
Third plane
person.
of pleasure.
Oh no, I wouldn't actually RP it, Tony.
Okay, good. It's a long walk back to the villa, and like halfway through, you're like, "Oh my god, does this guy have to do this every time he wants to come out somewhere?" And like halfway through, he stops, and there's a little table with a servant set up with like little cups of water, and the servant like wipes his brow, and then you all continue on.
Is he like chuffing
like-
No, he's walking fine. Actually, as a matter of fact, Blue, you would notice that he's actually not walking at all.
Is he floating?
Just a little bit.
That's pretty cool. I like your garden.
Oh yes, that section there is cultivated from Chult. And then further on there, you'll find a few saplings from the Star Mount, just
Ooh.
around the base.
I wanted to visit the Star Mount. Is it a nice place?
It is nice enough, anyway, when the weather's right.
Probably not now.
Also the dragon.
Yeah, we did hear about a dragon there. Although there seems to be dragons everywhere, to be fair.
Yes, I would say that's an accurate statement. More easily found when you know what to look for. And then he points at a statue. This actually is a petrified dragon. One of my best
A
works,
real
if I do
one?
say myself. And yeah, there's like a giant-sized. I wouldn't say giant. There's like an ogre-sized dragon, like a statue. And if he didn't tell you it was petrified, you would have assumed it was sculpted.
That is quite amazing. You wouldn't have any petrified displacer beasts around, would you?
I'm sorry, say that one more time.
You'd have petrified displacer beasts around, would you?
No, unfortunately not.
Anyone
think we
who would
should-
have any displacer?
Hmm?
Would you know anyone who has any displacer beasts?
I once knew an Eladrin who made a home in Red Rock. Claimed to know how to tame them, but was centuries ago.
Tony's never going to give us the displacer beast fur, and I think we need to get used to that opportunity back, Jack.
Yeah.
He says that, but he is clearly a human.
I wanted to find sense.
You don't sense anything.
Okay.
How old are you, buddy? Because you don't
Actually,
look
he
too
wouldn't have
much
said
old.
that. He wouldn't have said centuries. He would have said century. He would have said a century.
How old are you, buddy? Because you don't look that much older than myself.
I think this year marks 142.
Huh? I mean, you're looking great.
Oh, I have my tricks.
Moisturizing.
You could say that.
We once met a man whose moisturizing routine was so good he took half of all the damage we dealt him.
We did?
Yeah. It was very
really did.
intimidating.
Oh, wait, yeah, we actually did do that out of character. Yeah, the guy who like oiled himself up with that potion. Yeah.
Anyway, let's continue our hike.
There is a huge estate at the back of this garden. You actually would pass by like one of those bush mazes as well. But there's a huge estate. It's easily 5 floors. The exterior stone is made of a finely crafted marble that Bulwark, you can tell, was clearly crafted by an expert dwarven. What's the word? Instructor, builder, crafter.
Stoneworker,
Yeah.
Mason.
sculptor. And you automatically hate him because he's better than you.
But it's odd because even though it's clearly dwarven make, there are elvish and draconic influences in the architecture. The points where pieces connect kind of come up into these long, thin crenellations, and the glass bulwark, with your skill, you can tell has been formed by dragon's fire. And
This man is like 1%, and we should eat him.
We're pretty wealthy ourselves now, Bulwark.
The doors are closed as you approach, and he snaps a hand, and they burst open, and the music explodes out inside. There is a number of different musicians playing. There are viols and flutes and harps. You even see, as you're walking up the stairs as he leads you, a mechanical man walk from one point to another, serving people drinks. And he leads you up into a library where he sits in a black leather chair. The library itself would be on the 3rd floor. The bookshelves are from floor to ceiling, and there is a massive wall-to-wall window at the end of the room. And he says, Cyrex says you did him quite a favor, and I enjoy those who help my friends. I would go so far as to say that I would consider you a friend. Or all of you, anyway.
I was about to say, which one of us was he talking to?
Blue smiles and says, friends it is?
He
I won't argue.
He casts a spell, and a leg rest appears before him, and he sits his legs up, and as he finishes, a few of the chairs in the room are drawn to the area. He snaps his fingers, and the nearby fireplace erupts. And he says, so tell me, what brings you to my estate other than to relay this message that you have helped my friend?
That was pretty much all of it, wasn't it?
Well, we had also heard that you sponsored adventurers, and we're on a bit of an adventure ourselves right now. So I guess we were wondering if you would sponsor us, maybe.
And what sort of an adventure are you on? Do tell.
Well, and I guess Blue will give him like a quick recount of sort of how our journey started in Nightstone, very summarized, and end with the main gist of something something seems wrong with the giants, and we're trying to solve that problem.
Most intriguing. Well, as I said, you've helped my friend, and I, in turn, consider you a friend. I don't like to be in debt to people, and I did owe this friend a favor. Seems only fitting that I reward you. Let's see. He casts a spell that you would recognize as being the same that Crowan cast not but a few hours ago. And he grabs a necklace that he's wearing, and there's a small chest on it, and then a chest appears beside him, but it's floating in the air. And he gets up from his seat. He says, tell me a bit about yourselves. What are you capable of? What do you do? What's your shtick?
I guess I can start. Surprisingly, as of late, all it seems I've been doing is slicing up giant shins, to be honest. But I'm not bad with a blade. I'd say I'm pretty good with them. I
Do
just
you
kind of rush in and carve down as many people as possible, as quickly as possible.
do you aspire to do anything else? Or are you what's the word, complacent with your current lot about life?
Well, I always try to improve my swordsmanship, but and I like swords that can do crazy things. But I've not got the talent for that magic stuff you guys are all capable of. Yeah, I've just got to hold my own the best way I can.
I'm afraid I don't really have anything in the way of weapons. Use a crossbow.
I have one.
I have a bit of magical ammunition I could loan to you.
Oh, yay.
I'm sorry, Ah, you're a man.
I am.
He he flips open the chest, and he reaches in and pulls out something, and he tosses it at you.
What's this then?
It is a pair of goggles that looks like an owlbear, and there are these blue crystals in where the eyes would be.
I love everything about this, and I'm just gonna put them on my head.
Oh, don't! And then you do, and all of a sudden you're blind.
Oh. Can I just start pouring at my face to try to find them and pull them off?
Yep. Yeah, you only want to wear those at night or in caves. Those will help you see in the dark.
Really?
Yes.
Oh yes. And I'll just hold them around my neck.
Wonderful. And anyone else? You there, the big man?
Me?
Yes.
Well, I'm a cleric and a druid. I I mostly heal people, although I also shoot blasts of light at evil things. What else? Bulwark, is there anything else?
He's a good friend. Yeah, that's probably his best quality. Good traveling companion, but very good on the healing and the protecting and the damage dealing. Good all round lad.
You look like a big boy. I guess you don't have a probably pretty loud trying to sneak around places, don't you?
I mean, most of the time, I don't even try it because we don't really stealth much as a party, to be honest. It's a little bit, and I'll also look at Bulwark and say a little bit. What's the word I'm thinking of? Futile.
Counterintuitive.
Futile.
Hmm. How about this? And he reaches in, like his arms go down way further than they should for a chest of this size, and he pulls out a half plate, a set of half plate, and it's made out of this whitish blue material. He says, "If you wear this, you might have an easier time sneaking around."
Okay. I obviously am very grateful, but I am quite attached to my current armor. Um, Thank you.
Is it made out of metal?
Yeah, if it's
Well, see, this isn't just any metal mind. Mithril, this is.
Can you wear mithril, or is that against your deep-rooted beliefs of only wearing your dead ancestors?
well, Personally, I'm not too fussed about wearing metal, but my people don't like it very much, so I don't know that I would be able to wear that, unfortunately.
I understand. He puts it back.
Isn't mithril made from the stars, though? Isn't that similar?
What's more about that it has to be refined with the breath of a white dragon. It's got a bit of a
Alright, that sounds
natural element to it.
pretty cool.
Okay,
Uh,
I've nature boy. That's what you are, right?
Yeah.
He's snapping his fingers like he's thinking about something, and he says, "All right, pick an element then."
What's an element we've encountered?
Air, earth, fire, or water.
Air.
All right. He reaches in and he pulls out a small blue sapphire, and he says, and he tosses it to you. And he says, "One time, crush that. Air will be your friend.
Oh,
Summon a
thank you.
mighty air elemental to fight by your side."
Blue will nod and say thank you.
And it's an elemental gem if you want to add that to your inventory.
Mm-hmm.
if I knew there was special half plate going, I mean, I love the goggles. Don't get me wrong, but
No takesies backsies. Your friend here was smart in saying that he didn't want something first.
fair enough.
All right, Miss Miss Fair
Malira.
Lady of the Deep. You
My name's Malira.
well, Miss Malira. I know your type. You're the type to ride into battle on a fine steed, aren't you?
Sometimes, yes.
He reaches into the chest again and he pulls out a saddle. And it is crafted of a very fine black leather. You know what this is?
I don't, do I?
No, you don't. This saddle here, you will not fall off of your horse. Want to be. Or if you die, and as long as you're on your horse, attack people who try to attack it will find it a bit more difficult. What do you say?
It is very nice, but I haven't summoned my steed in several days now, and usually I don't have much use of him in combat either. He has died multiple times now. And I'd rather not put a spirit through that again.
Well, I do have a mithril half plate that has gone unused, but you strike me as the lady wearing plate.
I feel like at this point he's just rubbing it in.
I will take it. I won't, back down from a gift from somebody
Oh
as kind as
no!
you.
Please tell me more about yourself so that I might be able to more ably tailor it to you.
Well, I am a paladin of Elistri. I've been one for most of my life now, and I just wish to really protect people.
Hmm. Highly Ashry, huh?
Yes.
From the dark to the light. Well, he kind of digs around a bit. He almost gets like halfway in it, like up to his waist, and he pulls out a lantern. And he says, When you put a pint of oil in this lantern, it'll burn for 6 hours. It'll shed light 30 feet and 30 feet, like a normal lantern. However, invisible creatures and objects will be visible so long as they're in the lantern's bright light. Seem up your alley?
It does. I'll happily accept it.
Very well. I won't toss this one because it might break.
And she'll get up and hold her hand out so you can place it in her hands.
That is a lantern of revealing.
Thought so.
Yep. And you, Master Dwarf.
I am a crafter and a builder, and I craft and build so I may take punches and blows so others do not have to. I seek to protect and make myself as immutable as possible, to be, as my name implies, a bulwark for people to hide behind.
Huh. He walks over to the side of the chest and he opens up like a side compartment in there. And he pulls out a small red rectangle. And he hands it to you. And he just kind of like gestures at it.
What is it?
Well, you tell me, what is it?
Is it the red box? Is it
If you're
the red
looking at
box?
it, as you're looking at it, you can kind of see, and it's a thin thing. It's like maybe 2 inches long, a half inch deep, and an inch tall. As you're looking at it, you see a whole bunch of different buttons, like a lot, 100
Press
buttons.
100 buttons.
Yep.
Oh my god. Should I press them all at once? Why not? No. I press a button.
You press a button, and part of it slides open, and it's a knife.
Is it just a giant Swiss Army knife?
I'm guessing it's a multi-tool, isn't it?
Oh, is it? And I press all the other random buttons.
The knife folds in, and like a corkscrew comes out, and then a different button pops out, and the whole thing turns into like a small hammer. And then, but all the buttons are still there. And then you press another button, and it kind of shifts back into a pair of tongs. Yes, it is a +1 all-purpose tool.
I think that this will do me well. Thank you.
Absolutely. Figured to be up your alley. If you don't mind.
You're
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
a good judge of character, I guess, then.
I like to think that I am, yes.
I mean, yeah, these goggles. Look how stylish these are.
Now, I have a party to hold, but I do think that your mission is very important. So I offer you this as well. And he, out of his own pocket, he pulls out 2 small stones, and they're kind of shaped like ears. And he hands one to you, Bulwark. He says, "Don't clog up my pathway every day, but when you find something of great import that you think I should know, send me a message."
I will do so sparingly.
I'll trust you to see your way out. I have a party to hold. Goodbye, gentlemen and madam.
Goodbye. Thank you.
And he sachets away.
That was just hella impressive. Did you see his movements? I couldn't move like that.
Yes, you could. I believe in you.
But look at these goggles. Look how pretty they are.
They're very
Um,
nice.
I'm gonna be the most stylish man alive. Maybe I
And-
should get a big pink feather for my hat.
And they let you see in the dark. That's pretty cool.
That is pretty cool. I'll no longer be brutally blinded. Wait, I wonder how far they reach though, because
I think
I do
it's
have a
60
constant
feet.
light source.
Oh. Well, if you need to be stealthy.
I mean, yeah.
Not that we ever do that.
Of all of us, I'm probably the only one who might be okay at stealth.
I will give
free.
I'm gonna give the pearl of power to Blue. But
Oh my
I'll give him back
goodness, it's
power.
happening.
What? What's happening?
Nothing. Blue's finally getting the pearl power.
My multi-tool.
Oh, I get back the pearl? Okay, very nice.
Oh wow, it's 10 o'clock. I didn't even realize. Thank you,
Yeah, I was
everyone.
gonna say, can we call it soon?
Yeah, no, we're gonna call it now. That's a good place to end. Thank you so much for joining us or watching us on YouTube. We appreciate it. Happy Pride Month. Hope you have a great week. Make it a good one if it's not already. Thanks. Bye.
Bye.
What the DM said.